Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Kyuubi gets tired of Naruto and decides to make a deal. Part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. You fail. The verdict kept repeating over and over. Again, I failed again, thought Naruto bitterly. No matter how hard I train, I always fail. The boy Naruto entered his so-called home. It was not much. It was really not his fault. He had tried to care for his apartment, but villagers always broke in and messed it up. So he gave up. He gave up the same way he gave up on being able to buy food, equipment, clothes, and other things. Naruto didn't consider himself a genius, but it was clear that he was only able to buy low-quality, overpriced goods. It was clear that people were out to get him. I won't give up. All Naruto's words were silenced by a kunai in his heart. Die, demon! Snarled the assassin. Why, wondered the boy, why am I hated? Why do these things happen to me? His questions were interrupted by darkness. Naruto woke up in a dark sewage. What is this place, he wondered. Hearing something in front of him, the boy walked towards it. He stopped in front of some huge bars that had the kanji for seal on them. Naruto looked up at two giant red orbs of fire that opened. Those are eyes, he thought, they're so big. A giant fox head lowered towards him. Greetings, Kit, it said in a surprisingly feminine voice. Hi. Naruto chewed his lower lip in confusion. What is this place? This is going to take some time, Kit. Since you managed to come here, I think I should explain everything. Okay. First, I am the Kyuubi no Kitsune. What? He shouted in surprise. Shut up and listen, Kit, she snarled, making Naruto gulp in fear. You were told that the yondaime killed me, but no mortal is able to kill a demon. Instead, he sealed me inside a newborn baby you. This is why the villagers hate you. They look at the prison and see the prisoner. So this is why they hate me? He asked in a depressed voice. Kit, pull yourself together, said the fox in an annoyed tone. I will not have an angsty, whiny brat as my container, do you understand? Yes, gulped Naruto. You are not guilty of my mistakes. Is that understood? The yondaime actually wanted you to be seen as a hero for keeping me sealed. Me, a hero? Yes, foolish of him. Naruto lowered his head in disappointment. Don't bow your head, Kit. I did not mean that you are not worthy of being a hero. I am saying that it was foolish of the fourth to have faith in the village. Immediately after I was sealed, the council voted in favor of killing you. Thanks to the third, you were spared. Since that day, there were numerous attempts on your life. You do not remember most of them. At first, they tried poison, but due to my presence, it was not a problem. Then they sent assassins, but they were stopped in time. And then, there were the beatings from the villagers. I am at the end of my ropes, Kit. I am sick and tired of healing your broken, malnourished body over and over again. Naruto nodded dumbly. Why are you helping me? If you die, I die. You said that no mortal can kill you, said Naruto suspiciously. Ah, yes. If you are killed, I will disappear from this world. I'd rather stay here in prison than go back. Back where? It doesn't matter, Kit. It is enough if you understand that I want you to be as healthy and strong as possible. Okay. I am willing to make a deal with you. I will teach you to the best of my abilities. I will willingly give you part of my power. I will help you accomplish your dreams. All I want in exchange are some creature comforts in this dank cell. I am also able to experience what you feel, through your senses, that is, if you allow it. I want to experience the world outside once in a while and I want to be indulged from time to time. I'm not going to kill for you, shouted Naruto horrified. Foolish Kit, what need do I have for blood? Are you as foolish as those villagers? I am talking about food, relaxing, a massage or something, running through the forest, simple pleasures of the flesh, maybe reading a nice book. As it is now, I am dying of boredom. What few things I can perceive through your senses is quite unpleasant. You did not have a nice life. I want you to allow opening the connection between us more. This way, I will be able to perfectly feel what you feel. Just think about it. You do not need to decide now. Okay, I'll think about it. But first, I have some questions. Naruto thought that what she asked was not too much. He was actually surprised she didn't ask for more. Go ahead, Kit. Ask me anything. I may not answer some questions, but I promise you this, I will never lie to you. Why did you attack the village? Actually, they attacked first. I was in a long sleep and they attacked me while sleeping. I retaliated in kind. But did you have to keep it up? From what I know from the academy, you had days until you reached the village. Why did you continue the attack? Foolish kid, I am a great demon. They dared to attack me in my den. I only retaliated. As you said, they knew I was coming here. They had enough time to flee. Had they done that, I would have done a little property damage and left. But they dared to attack me again. Do you think I needed days to travel to Konoha? I could have done it in hours. Greater demons are supposed to be viewed as natural disasters, but they dared to stand in my way and I was foolish and got myself in this situation. Naruto thought for a while, thinking carefully over Kyuubi's words. If what she says is true, then she is not as bad as I thought. True, she is not a paradigm of innocence, but she is one of the few people to treat me with kindness. And she appears not to lie, unlike the old man. You said that the village council tried to kill you and that people tried to kill me. How do you know that? I can experience what you experience, though it is very faint. That is why I said I wanted the connection between us to be more powerful. I'll be able to fully feel what you feel. And I'll be able to talk to you while you are awake. If I accept this bargain, how can I be sure you will not betray me somehow? That's a good question. You may not know it, but if a demon swears something, he cannot go back on his word. Again, he said suspiciously, what guarantee do I have? You could be lying. You will just have to take my word for it. I am afraid I have no way to prove it, Kit. Fair enough, Naruto sighed. I suppose I'll have to accept this. What about our deal? What do we each get from it? You said you would teach me. Do you know any cool jutsu? He asked excitedly. I know many things, but human jutsu is not amongst them. I have never needed it. Naruto looked crestfallen. Don't worry, Kit. I only said I am unfamiliar with human jutsu. I am not without knowledge. I actually know when it is very useful, actually. It will prove invaluable in our training. Naruto's eyes began to shine. What? I'll teach it to you later, she cut him. There are other things more important. Tell me, Naruto, how well can you read? Naruto reddened and looked down shamefaced. I'm not that good. Don't worry, this is the first thing we will correct. You should have learned by now, but your teachers tried to sabotage you. It's a wonder you are not even more of a babbling idiot. Hey, at the glare he received from the Kyuubi, he sighed. You're right. I'm not the smartest person around. That's because they didn't educate you. Don't worry, I will correct your deficiencies. I intend to have a strong, intelligent container. Thanks, Kyuubi-san. Don't mention it, Kit. Even though I am not familiar to human jutsu, I understand the theory quite well. You could say that I am as knowledgeable as the Hokage. And I'll be your private instructor. Naruto beamed in happiness. I'll finally have someone to teach me, he thought. I will freely share part of my power, and I'll help you fulfill your dreams. I will protect you to the best of my abilities, and I won't do anything to harm your friends. What I ask in return is rather minor for you to give. As I said, since this is your mind, I want you to redecorate this place in a suitable manner. A sewer is not my idea of a home. I also want you to let me access your senses more, and I want you to indulge me from time to time. As I said, nothing harmful, just pleasures of the flesh and mind. Naruto nodded. Okay. Another thing, if you accept this deal, it is possible that you will receive some of my demonic traits. What traits? He asked cautiously. Nothing too major, increased physical and mental abilities, enhanced senses. Also, it is possible that your appearance will change slightly. How? I am not sure. You'll probably have claws, longer canines, red eyes, foxtail and ears. But won't people hate me more if my appearance changes? They'll hate you no matter what. Think about the Inuzuka. They grow fangs and claws too. Is there anything wrong about it? Are they evil because of it? No, of course not. Are you going to become a bloodthirsty monster just because of a few physical changes? No. But they'll think. Who cares what they think? Interrupted Kyuubi. Should you really care what small-minded, bigoted people think? No, but... If you saw a child with claws, fangs, and a tail, would you consider him a monster? Or would you treat him normally? Kyuubi left Naruto think for a few moments before continuing. You see, one day you'll find someone that will see you for yourself. That person will truly be your friend. They'll care for you even if you are different. Naruto nodded thoughtfully. She's right, he thought. Why should I care what those bastards think? So, you accept? Yes. Very well, we have a deal. One more thing, I would suggest keeping this secret as much as possible, even from the Hokage. Tell him as little as possible. Why is that, Kyuubi-san? He is the Hokage. I believe he has your best interest at heart, but his duty to the village comes first. If he thinks you are a danger because of me, I do not know what he will do. Okay, I'll trust you on this, Kyuubi-san. But if I change physically, he'll know something happened. Yes, eventually he'll figure it out, but not now. It will take some time until the change takes place. When that happens, tell him you met me and that you received the changes so that your body would be harder to harm. Naruto nodded. When you wake up, if you want to talk to me, do not talk out loud. I will hear what you are thinking. If the villagers find out you are talking to me, who knows what they'll do. Naruto nodded again. He finally observed red chakra flowing towards him, through the water. What's this? Our deal, Kit. I am giving you a bit of my power, and you are opening your senses to me. Beside an increase in your physical abilities and chakra capacity, your senses will be a few times better. We're about done here. It's time to wake up. Naruto opened his eyes. Sitting in a chair beside the bed, the Hokage was looking tired. How long, old man? 3 days, Naruto. I'm sorry. You said the same thing last time. If there were something I could do, I would. Kit, I have an idea. Naruto looked blankly at the wall for a minute, listening to Kyuubi while ignoring the Hokage. Maybe there is, Naruto finally said. Oh? Did my mom have a house? Why do you ask, Naruto? I want a house. I want a home where I can make sure I won't be killed by assassins. It doesn't matter if it's half collapsed. I just want a place for myself. Sarutobi thought for a few seconds. I should have done this sooner, he thought. This is the least I could do. She did not, but if you want a house, it can be arranged. There is a property. It's a little out of the way and nobody lived there for more than 20 years. You'll have to work a bit if you want it livable. Thanks, old man. Anything else? No. Very well, Naruto. Wait a bit. I'll be back in 15 minutes. Half an hour later, they were in front of a house in the middle of the forest. The property is quite large. You even have a small lake. The house is not in such a good condition. Don't worry. It is perfect. Interrupted Naruto. Thanks, old man, said Naruto happily. The Hokage pulled a scroll and gave it to Naruto. Here, sign this. Naruto signed and started to give it back. Sarutobi shook his head. No. It's yours now. The scroll represents the deed for the house and property. He then gave a bag to Naruto. This is for the house. Repairing the house won't be cheap. Come to my office if you need anything else, said the old man to the shocked Naruto before disappearing in a swirl of leaves. Well, this went well, said Kyuubi. We have a house and money. Let's go shopping. Shopping, he thought, depressed. I know you don't like it. And I know why. That is why you'll transform into someone else. This way, they won't overprice us or give up bad goods. Why didn't I do this until now? You're the best, Kyuubi-san. I know. Now let's go. Naruto transformed into a nondescript brown-haired boy and went to one of the better shinobi store. Oh, hello, how may I help you? Asked the store owner. He's so polite, thought Naruto as he entered the store. Last time I came here, he threw me out. I want some clothes and equipment. Naruto wandered through the store, letting Kyuubi check the clothes. Finally, Kyuubi decided on a black A&B uniform. This is the best kit. It's comfortable, gives good protection, and it would look good on you. Nodding, Naruto dressed in one of the uniforms, and took 3 more spares. We'll need a mask, said Kyuubi. Looking in the mask sections, Naruto's eyes fixed on a black mask. Unlike most A&BU masks that depicted an animal, this one was a blank human face. It did not have a smiling expression, nor a frowning one. It was just blank. This one, Kit. Naruto put the mask to his face, but he did not have any way to make the mask stay on his face. There was no clasp, nothing. Channel some chakra into it, said Kyuubi. Naruto did so and the mask suddenly stayed put. It was as if it was glued to his face. Opening his eyes, Naruto smiled. Wow, I can see through it as if it is transparent. Of course, Kit. If they weren't, A&BU masks would deteriorate vision. If that were so, nobody would wear them. Since they are transparent, they do not impede vision, they make you anonymous and give a small measure of protection. After taking some shuriken and kunai, Naruto paid and left back to his new home. I paid half of what I would have paid if I were in my true form. Yes, Kit. And you have always bought low quality for premium prices. Well, this stops now. I won't let them take advantage of us again. Thank you, Kyuubi-chan. You're welcome, Kit, she responded in a gentle tone. Back at his home, Naruto, in his black uniform, was inspecting the house. Kyuubi-chan, this is going to be a nightmare. It'll take weeks to repair the house. No, it won't. It's time for me to teach you the technique I told you about. Really? What is it? Asked Naruto excitedly. Shadow clone technique. Shadow clone? I'm not that good at clones, said Naruto in a disappointed tone. Of course you aren't. You have too much chakra and too little control. The reason you can't do a normal clone is that it requires so little chakra, so that with your flimsy control, it's impossible. However, the shadow clone technique is within your capabilities. It requires a large amount of chakra, so you should be able to do it. Unlike the regular clone, a shadow clone can fight and think for itself. It's not just an illusion, it creates real clones. The power and chakra is evenly divided among the clones. However, it will dissipate at one hit. 1 hour later, under Kyuubi's tutelage, Naruto managed to make a shadow clone. Very good, Kit. Now tell your clone to scout our surroundings, and then dispel it after 5 minutes. Done, said Naruto. Well? What? He asked. What is strange about this technique? What did your clone learn? He scouted around. And how do you know that? I remember. You remember what? Prompted Kyuubi. I remember what it did, but how do I know that? I was here. Very good, Kit. You see, when one of your shadow clone is dispelled, the memories, skills, and knowledge it gathered return to you. Do you know what this means? What? It means you can make multiple shadow clones and put them to practice, learn, or work. Whatever they learn, you'll know. It's the perfect method for training. Cool, you're the best, Kyuubi-chan. I know, Kit. Now make some clones. About 50 shadow clones poofed into existence. Give one of the clones some money, and tell it to buy some food. And by food I mean healthy food, not ramen. Is that understood? The rest of them, tell them to clean the house. Naruto did as he was told. And me? You start on physical training. The next day, Naruto woke up refreshed. He created 2 shadow clones to make breakfast while he took a shower. So, what's the plan for today? Asked Naruto after he finished eating his first healthy breakfast. Make 50 clones. Send 40 clones to the public library. Have them transform into someone else. For the next 10 days, their job is to improve your reading skills. Since no one will recognize them, they won't be thrown out, like they usually do when you go there. The other 10 are to transform into shinobi and enter the genin library. They are to find some exercises for chakra control. And what do I do? What do you think? Physical exercises until you are exhausted. Naruto trained for a few hours, ate, and trained some more. That's enough, Kit. Dispel your clones. A wave of knowledge rushed into Naruto's brain. Finally, blessed unconsciousness came. The next day. What was that? Groaned Naruto. That, Kit, was too much information. You'll get used to it. If you were a normal human, the influx of information would have melted your brain. Melted my brain? He asked weakly. Yes, but we share a mental link. The information you gather from your clones, I see it too. Thanks to my awesome mind and the power I gave you, I can sort that information in no time and without harming you. My head is killing me. I need to practice more, that's all. Sorting the memories of a few dozen is not as easy as you think. Okay, so what do I do today? Make as many clones as you can. Shadow clone technique. 300 clones appeared in puffs of smoke. 40 clones to the public library. 10 clones to the genin library. Have them poke around. The rest 250. Have them try that tree walking exercise. You get a shower and then eat. After that, physical training. At the end of the day, Naruto dispelled the clones that were training. He barely felt the backlash. Kyuubi-chan? Since the information we got now is more about a skill and instinct, and not about knowledge, it is much easier to sort. Now try to climb a tree. Naruto walked to a tree and walked horizontally on its trunk. He walked up and down without falling. Wow, my clones barely managed to walk halfway and I can walk perfectly. Yes, their partial skill combined into a collective average skill. There is something I don't understand, Kyuubi-chan. I made 250 clones. They managed to climb halfway. But aren't they the same? Since they all performed the same exercise, shouldn't they gain the exact same skill? I mean, if the skill gained by a clone is the same one that was gained by the rest, shouldn't the combined skill be the same as the skill of any clone? That is a good question, Kit. You see, when the clones are formed, they are all the same. However, each of them trains on a different tree. They think in a similar manner at first, but as time passes, they become more and more different. The mind is a very complicated thing. One very small change can alter our way of thinking in a huge way. It's called the butterfly effect. Okay, I kind of understand. Each clone learns different things, and when they are dispelled, we combine them. Yes, also, do you know how you learn a skill like tree walking? Let's put it this way: you gather a lot of data about how much chakra you use and the way you use it in a certain case. Our mind takes all that data and creates rules. It is like a mathematic equation. The more data you have, the better. That is why it doesn't really matter if you are doing the same exercise. Do you understand? I think I do. Good, now let's eat before dispelling the clones from the libraries. What are we going to do today, Kyuubi-chan? Asked Naruto after he created 300 clones. 50 clones to the library, 100 clones for the tree walking exercise, the rest will do the water walking exercise. And you? Yes, I know. Physical exercises. What are we going to do today, Kyuubi-chan? Asked Naruto after he created 300 clones. 50 clones to the library, 50 clones for the tree walking exercise, 50 clones for the water walking exercise, and the rest will do the leaf floating exercise. And you? What are we going to do today, Kyuubi-chan? Asked Naruto after he created 300 clones. 50 clones to the library. The rest, chakra training. But I can already do that, Kyuubi-chan. Yes, I know, Kit. However, your chakra control still needs work. After you master these 3 exercises perfectly, we'll do something a little harder. 1 week later, Kyuubi pronounced Naruto as average on his reading skills. Create 400 clones, Kit. Naruto did as he was told and awaited further instructions. Now 50 clones to the public library. Again, he whined. I thought I was done with that. You thought wrong, Kit. Now, as I was saying, 50 clones to the public library. They are to read books that would help us if we wanted to take a job. For example, books on cooking, constructions, hunting, or any other job you can possibly think about. Okay. 50 clones are to go to the Genin library. They are to start reading. They'll start with the academy textbooks and the basics. The rest of the clones are to continue on their chakra control. However, this time we'll have a different exercise. Naruto nodded with determination. The first group will run from tree to tree, using their feet or hands to stick to the trees. At the same time, they are to do the leaf exercise. The second group is to run on the lake on their feet and hands while doing the leaf exercise. The third group is to use their chakra control to swim through the lake, without moving their hands and feet. 1 week later. Okay, Kit, today I am going to teach you a new technique, solid shadow clone. With this, you'll be able to make a clone that can absorb a little damage. It is much more resistant than the normal shadow clone, but it consumes more chakra. Cool. Kyuubi-chan? I wanted to ask you, why do you know this technique? Well, you know about summoning, don't you? Yes, he responded perplexed. Well, when you summon something, you give your chakra to make a shadow clone from the summoned animal. He provides the consciousness, but you provide the chakra. Similar to a solid clone, a summoning can take a bit of damage, depending on how much chakra you pushed in the clone or summoning. I see. But why are you teaching me this now? 2 reasons. First, it's good for combat. Second, I want you to create a few solid clones, transform them, and get them to take a job. Job? What kind of job? Any job. Many jobs. Why? First reason, to earn money, we aren't exactly rich. Second reason, to gain civilian skills. And third, to gather information. They'll find out things that may be common knowledge, but we don't know, things that are known by relatively few people, or secrets known by only a few. 1 week after Naruto learned the solid clone technique, Kyuubi decided that it was finally time for Naruto to start working. Create 1,000 shadow clones. Kyuubi waited for the puffs of smoke to disappear. Good, now 300 will do chakra exercises. We'll add something harder, have them use their whole bodies for it. What do you mean, Kyuubi-chan? For example, instead of water walking using your feet and hands, do it using only the fingertips or even only one finger. Also, try to use the same technique using other parts of the body, like floating on your back or knees. The same thing for the tree walking exercise, use other parts of your body to stick to the tree. Naruto nodded in determination. Next, 200 clones are to start practicing throwing kunai and shuriken. Do that while standing in one place and while moving and running. When you are in a fight, you can't afford to take aim carefully. You must be ready to throw them while moving. Later, after you become proficient in this skill, we'll use clones to practice against each other. I understand. Next, 100 clones are to go to the libraries. Read anything of interest. I want you to pay special attention to anything about the human anatomy and medical scrolls. Okay, what about the rest? They are to practice transformation, replacement, normal clones and shadow clone techniques. But I already know them. I know, Kit. But I want you to master them completely. I want you to be able to do them silently, without using seals, without making puffs of smoke and without wasting any chakra. Now, tell me what advantages you'll get from this. Naruto thought for a few moments. If I master a technique completely, I'll use less chakra, I'll be able to do it faster, and it'll be more powerful. This means I'll be able to do more techniques in battle. Mastering the transformation technique will help me in infiltration missions. Mastering replacement technique would help a lot in battle. If I am in danger or I can't use my hands to use seals, I'll be able to escape. Mastering the clones techniques will allow me to make more clones, and I'll be able to take my enemies by surprise if there are no puffs of smoke to give them away. Very good, Kit. Next, you'll create 100 solid clones. Their mission is to get a job. They will transform into different people, male and female, and get any job they can find. Remember, this is an infiltration mission. That means you will not reveal your true identity. You will construct a persona and delve into it. That means you not start spewing what you're thinking. You'll learn to keep your mouth shut. That especially means that you will under no circumstance start bragging about being the next Hokage or telling them your true identity. Is that understood? Yes, Kyuubi-chan. The next day, Naruto sent his 1,000 clones to their practice. Let's see what we have with our jobs, said Kyuubi. I have 3 clones that were hired as hunters. I have another 3 that work as medicinal herbs gatherers. 5 are working on a farm. 10 are working on a construction site. 4 are working as janitors. 1 is working at the onsen. 3 are working as waitresses, 6 on some stores, 9 that are actually working as apprentices, and another 9 are doing some odd jobs. In total, that makes 53 jobs. I must say I am impressed, Kit. Well, it wasn't that hard. It's easy to get a job if you aren't hated and willing to work long hours on lower pay. Naruko, one of Naruto's female personas, was hired at the onsen. Since her boss found out she had a great deal of medical knowledge, at least in theory, the boss decided to train her in the art of massage. Naruko gladly accepted. She made a mental note for the library clones to search for books on the subject the next day. She hit the jackpot. They found quite a few books and scrolls, some of them very good. Naruto had practiced at home, by creating a few hundred clones, separating them in 2 and having them practice on each other. Needless to say, Naruto gathered a few years of experience in only a few days. Coupled to the increasing theoretical knowledge from the clones that visited the library, or the geeks as Kyuubi called them, and the advice from her boss, Naruko became one of the best masseurs in only a few days. Naruko walked in her private room to see that her next client was Hinata. Oh, hi Hinata-chan. Hinata was Naruko's very first customer. She was also one of the few children that had been kind to Naruto at the academy. She was a shy girl, but very kind and sweet. Naruto liked her. The only thing that bothered Naruto, and Naruko, was that Hinata was even shyer around him than other people. Strangely, the girl behaved around Naruko the masser, the same way she behaved around Naruto. Hi Naruko-ke-chan, she stammered. Naruko wondered if there was any way for Hinata to get over her shyness, stammering, and lack of confidence. Naruko vowed to herself that she would find a way to help Hinata. When the new year of academy would start, Naruto would be placed in the same class with Hinata. Perhaps Naruto could befriend the girl and help her. How was your training? Fine. Since the first time Naruko gave Hinata a massage, Hinata would come to the onsen every day and get a massage from Naruko. Come, Hinata-chan. Hop on the table, said Naruko, smiling kindly. Yes. Hinata nodded and disrobed while blushing furiously. Naruko could not help herself to check out the girl. Even if she was a year younger and a little short, her were well developed. Naruto concentrated on remaining professional. It was not hard even if the geeks read those books about the human reproductive system and the talk in a book. She had worked around naked girls for a few days and she learned to not blush or give herself away. Naruto proceeded in doing her job, making Hinata sigh in contentment. 10 minutes later, Naruto suddenly stopped. Say, Hinata-chan, I've been reading on a new type of massage. Since you are my most faithful customer, would you like to be my first? Sure, Naruto-chan, I'd like that. Hinata was so relaxed that she didn't stutter even once. Naruto smiled, gathered chakra in her hands, making them glow a pale pink, and continued to massage Hinata's back. Hinata began to breathe faster. Are you all right, Hinata-chan? Do you want me to stop? No. Don't stop. Continue, please. Naruto shrugged. She must really like it, she thought. Finishing with the back, Naruto proceeded in massaging the legs. When Naruto reached the girl's thighs, Hinata's whole body tensed for a few seconds, and she shuddered before she relaxed completely. Hinata-chan, are you feeling fine? I feel great, Naruto-chan, she replied with a lazy smile. Thank you. You were great. Naruto shrugged mentally. It seems that this new technique was successful. Hinata looked very relaxed. I have to show this to Kyuubi-chan. She really likes my massages. After dispelling the clones, Naruto promptly fell asleep. He woke up in his mental landscape. It had changed drastically. No longer was he surrounded by the darkness of a sewer. Instead, Naruto found himself in a forest. He walked into a clearing and saw a house. It was Kyuubi's prison, and it had the same seal on the door that he saw the first time he met Kyuubi. He entered through the door as if it was insubstantial and headed for the bedroom. He walked in to see a sleeping dark red-headed girl. She had both human and foxy ears. Naruto walked and sat on the edge of the bed and smiled as one of her 9 tails caressed his face. Naruto touched the tail and started to pet it. Hello, Kit. I didn't expect you here today, she said 5 minutes later, rubbing her eyes from sleep. I know. I'm here to give you a massage. After their first meeting, Kyuubi changed in her human form. After Naruto started to give massages at the onsen, he began to give them to Kyuubi as well. He did that every time he entered the mental landscape. Oh? Yeah, Hinata seemed to really like my technique. I thought you might like to try it. Kit, you really have a huge blind spot when it comes to girls. And you even read all about it. It looks like you need some practical lessons, she said with a strange smile. What do you mean? I'll explain later. Kyuubi disrobed and motioned Naruto to start. Naruto smiled and ran his hands through Kyuubi's tails. He then started to rub her back, and Kyuubi smiled in contentment. Naruto began to channel chakra in his hands. How does it feel? He asked. It feels great, she responded, struggling to keep her body under control. In only a few minutes, she shuddered and moaned her release. Unlike Hinata, who had her panties and a towel on her rear, Kyuubi was completely naked. What did just happen? He stammered. Naruto had tried to block it from his mind, but even he realized that his ministrations resulted in something. That, my dear Naruto-kun, she said in a husky tone, was an orgasm. Orgasm? He squeaked. Yes. Turning around, Kyuubi grasped Naruto's shoulders and pulled him to her, and gave him a long kiss. Naruto had a frozen expression on his face. Kyuubi smiled softly and hugged him tighter as she burrowed his head between her. You mean, like in the talk orgasm? Yes. This means we and me and Hinata, he said horrified. How can I be so stupid? I'm really sorry. Sorry for what? I really enjoyed it. And I'm sure Hinata enjoyed it as much as I did. Kyuubi rubbed his back, trying to comfort him. Kyuubi grasped his chin and gave him another long kiss. They rolled over and she smiled seductively. She started disrobing him. Wait. We can't? Why? I'm 13. So what? Aren't I too young? Kyuubi pushed her hands inside his boxers. It seems you aren't, she grinned. But. No buts, Naruto-kun. You gave me pleasure, now it's my time to return the favor. The next day, a smiling Naruto woke up. He and Kyuubi had returned the favor for hours. Naruto was grinning so much that he felt that nothing could dampen his spirits. For the first time he was happy. He had a good teacher, a person he cared for. Unlike the fake smile he put around the villagers and even the Hokage to hide his true feelings, Naruto truly felt happy, from the bottom of his soul. He walked in the bathroom and froze in front of the mirror. His once blue eyes had turned into red slitted ones. Are you okay, Naruto-kun? Asked Kyuubi worriedly. Yes. I'm fine. You're not upset? No, why should I be? Your eyes are beautiful, they are the same as yours and I really like them. Really? She asked, surprised. I thought you'd be upset. A few weeks ago, I would have been. But now, I am glad for them, because they are your eyes. If you keep this up, Naruto-kun, I'll start blushing. After what we did last night, I don't think there is anything that can make you, or me for that matter, blush. Is that so? Well, I am sure I'll find something, teased Kyuubi. As Kyuubi promised, Kyuubi found something to tease him with. That was Ika Paradise. Naruto was staying under a tree, reading the perverted book. Kyuubi was commenting on the book, and the clones were training. There's someone spying on us. Yes, it's Hinata, said Kyuubi. Hinata? How? I mean, this isn't the first time she spied on me. At least you figured that much. Tell me, Kit, do you know why she is spying on you? I have no idea. Foolish Kit, must I spell everything to you? She likes you. Maybe it's even love. Really? How it actually makes sense, said Naruto thoughtfully, thinking back on past encounters. So, what do you think about her? What do you mean? I mean, do you like the girl? Naruto thought for a few seconds. It doesn't matter, he finally said. I already have you. So what? What do you mean, so what? You're my girlfriend, right? I guess I am, Kit. But what does this have to do with Hinata? You're my girlfriend. I'm not going to cheat on you. Foolish Kit, she laughed amused. I am not a human. I do not have human morals. I do not mind taking other mates. After all, you are my container. We deserve the best. I actually want more mates. And Hinata would be a good choice. Really? So you're telling me to? Yes, but only if you like her. Well, she's nice and kind and really cute. She was always nice to me. She's really smart. And she and Naruto got to be good friends and got to know her a bit. I guess I kind of like her. I am pleased. We may have a new mate. Kyuubi, I think we are getting ahead of ourselves. I mean, is she here for me? I haven't shown my face outside the house, I always wear my mask, so I don't really think she knows it's me. Perhaps, but perhaps not. Tell me, Kit, what bloodline limit does she have? The Byakugan, answered Naruto. Yes. And what are its powers? It sees on a 360 angle, it can see through solid objects, and it can see chakra. Oh, I see. If she can see chakra, then she knows who I am. My chakra is like my fingerprint. She doesn't need to see my face to know who I am. Very good. What about the clones? Asked Kyuubi. Clones? Oh shit. My clones have my chakra signature. She might know who my clones are. More important, she might know Naruto is my clone. Very good, Kit. Now think about your meetings at the onsen. Even you realize she behaves around Naruto the same way she behaved around you. Does this mean she knows I was giving her massages? That I saw her naked? And she still came back? Not many girls would let a boy do what you did. It must mean she really likes you. I think we just got lucky, Kit, Kyuubi said happily. I have a plan. A few minutes later, Kyuubi finished. Naruto put the book on the ground and got to his feet. Come out, Hinata. I know you're here. Hinata came from behind a tree. Na Naruto-kun. So you know. Hinata nodded. I suppose you know about my clones? Another nod. And about Naruto? Hinata froze for a second, and then nodded again. I knew as she was Waiyu, she stuttered. As she had Waiyu chakra. Naruto took his mask off, making Hinata's eyes to widen at the red-slitted eyes. Hinata took a step back before steeling herself. Naruto-kun is not the Kyuubi, she whispered to herself. A normal person would not have heard Hinata's words. Naruto, however, had increased senses thanks to Kyuubi. You know about the Kyuubi? Hinata's whole body froze. Why, yes. How? The Kyuubi was not killed, but sealed inside you. There is a law given by the Hokage. It is forbidden to talk about the truth with anyone that doesn't know. This is why none of our current generation knows the truth. But the villagers talk with each other, in private. I got curious. I wanted to know why they were so mean to you. I activated my Byakugan and saw them talking. I read their lips. Surprisingly, Hinata didn't stutter even once. So you're okay with it? Yes, Naruto-kun. I don't mind. Not even if I talk to her? Her? Yes. The last time someone tried to kill me, she saved me, healed me. Kill you? Yeah, the villagers have been trying to kill me since always. Thanks to her, I managed to stay alive. She healed me when I was injured. She actually isn't that bad. The Kyuubi is a she? Yes, and she's kind of my girlfriend. Oh. Hinata's face fell in disappointment. I'm happy for you, she said, turning around. She doesn't mind sharing. What? Naruto walked toward Hinata and hugged her from behind. She doesn't mind sharing. Hinata turned around in Naruto's embrace and looked deeply in his red eyes. Naruto kissed her. Hinata melted in Naruto's embrace as he used a little chakra to rub her back. After the kiss, Hinata burrowed her head in his chest. So, does this mean you'll be my girlfriend? He asked, with one hand rubbing circles on her back and the other running through her hair. Yes, Naruto-kun, she replied with a smile. They stayed like that for some time. It's getting late, Hinata said in disappointment. I have to go home. Can I come back tomorrow? Of course, Hinata-chan. You are always welcomed here. The next morning, Hinata came back. Naruto was still under a tree, reading. Good morning, Naruto-kun. Naruto took off his mask. Morning, Hinata-chan. What are you reading? Naruto put his book on the ground. Oh, this? Come closer. Hinata took a step forward. Closer. Another step. When Hinata was in arm's reach, Naruto suddenly grabbed her arm and dragged her down in his lap. Naruto-kun, she squeaked. This, Naruto said, is something to help you with your stutter. You'll read from this book until you stop stuttering. Naruto gave her the book, and he tightened his embrace. His left hand was just under Hinata's right, and his right one was making circles on her belly. Hinata started reading aloud. A few minutes later, she reached the juicy stuff and she stopped. This is porn, she stammered. Yes, and if you manage to read one page without stuttering, I'll give you a present, he murmured, kissing her shoulder. Hinata nodded, and a few pages later she started to breathe heavily, but she lost the stutter. Naruto kissed the corner of her mouth. You improved. Naruto kissed her fully on the lips and Hinata moaned. His left hand slipped under her shirt, kneading a. Naruto-kun? It's okay. It's time for your reward. Reward? Yes, remember that special massage I gave you? It's that kind of reward. Is that fine with you? Yes, Naruto-kun, moaned Hinata in pleasure. I'll do anything for Naruto-kun. I love you, Naruto-kun. Naruto's hand slipped into her panties. Good, said Naruto as he kissed her again. Naruto stopped from his physical training and watched some of his clones as they dodged one another's kunai attacks. They had been doing it for more than a week. Naruto learned how to dodge and parry, single and multiple attacks. Hinata-chan should be here soon. Yes, Kit. I wish you could meet her in person, Kyuubi-chan. Can the seal be broken? No, Kit. If it is broken, we both die. That's too bad. If the villagers were to hear you. Yeah, Kyuubi-chan? If you can't break the seal, can't we make a shadow clone or some kind of summoning of you? Kyuubi fell silent. Kyuubi-chan? Naruto-kun, you're brilliant. Let me think a bit about this. Kyuubi fell silent for an hour. Naruto-kun, I think I got it. Please make a solid clone. Naruto did as he was told, but instead of a clone of himself, Kyuubi stood in front of him. Did it work? He thought to Kyuubi. Yes, responded the clone. How did you know what I mentally asked? My clones don't know what the original thinks. And I talked to the original you from the seal. But that is because you are a human and I am not. It is called multitasking. My mind is so powerful that I can control more than one clone, directly. That is why, when you are talking to the clone me, you are talking at the same time with the me in the seal. We are one entity. Unlike your clones that think for as individuals, I can make my clones be one entity with me. Oh, that's really cool, Kyuubi-chan. I'm glad you can have your own body. Kyuubi smiled, kissed Naruto and embraced him deeply. I couldn't have done it without you. Naruto opened his mouth to protest the praise, but was interrupted. It's true. You gave me the idea and you allowed me to get out. Allowed you? Yes, Naruto-kun. I can only do this because you allowed me to get out. Had you fought against me having the clone, I couldn't have done it. Naruko the waitress smiled at Anko. Having 50 spies in the village made hearing gossip and rumors very easy. From what Naruto picked up, Anko was the former apprentice of the traitor Orochimaru. Apparently, she was in a similar situation with Naruto. She was hated and despised by most of the village for something that was outside her power. The difference was that Anko was able to protect herself. There were many mutterings behind her back, but only when she was not present. After all, it was rumored that Anko was less than stable, something that Anko seems to encourage. Anko was a regular and a dango addict. Her coworkers were not comfortable around Anko. When they discovered that Naruto had no problem serving her, she was designated more or less as Anko's private waitress. In just a short time, they became friends. Naruto and Kyuubi decided that Anko was the best choice for a sensei. Naruto really needed a teacher. Kyuubi could do a lot of things, but one of the best things she could do was to delegate and find new talent. Kyuubi in particular liked the woman. She thought Anko would make a great teacher. Soon, Naruto would approach her, but first, Naruto would have to do a bit of groundwork. Naruto put the sticks of dango in front of Anko, jumped into her lap and hugged her. You seem upset, Anko-chan. Hard day? Yeah, bloody civilians. Naruto started to rub the woman's back. This feels great, she groaned. Feel better? Asked Naruto a few minutes later. Yeah, thanks. This is nothing. You should go see my sister. Just tell her I sent you. For my special friends, she gives a discount and a special service, said Naruto. I think I'll go. Thanks. Hinata approached Naruto's home. Her family had lost interest in her training. As such, she was mostly free to train herself and leave her home at will, as long as she returned home on time. She watched the hundreds of clones as they practiced. They were all running around throwing kunai and shurikens at one another. Some of them were jumping around in the trees, some of them were running on the water, some were running on the ground, and some were doing all three. Hinata watched awestruck as they threw weapons at one another. Most of the weapons were dodged. Some were parried. And some were using the substitution technique to escape. Hinata was impressed. Being able to do ninjutsu without seals was quite a feat. Even the simplest techniques required years of practice. True, the substitution technique was one of the most basic ninjutsu. However, Hinata did not know of anyone who was able to do it. It was quite impressive for an academy student. It was almost as impressive as having hundreds of clones training. Hinata entered the clearing where the true Naruto was. Unlike his clones, he was training only his body. She smiled in happiness. Her smile, however, was cut short. Watching Naruto under a tree was a girl. She looked 16 years old, and had dark red hair. For a moment she thought she was one of Naruto's clones in female form. The girl sensed Hinata and looked at the newcomer. Hinata gasped at the eyes. They were the same as Naruto's red-slit eyes. Somehow Hinata did not think that the girl was Naruto. She had watched many of Naruto's clones. They had different age, gender, height, face, and they all had something in common, besides the chakra signature. The girl was different. For a moment she thought about activating her bloodline, but discarded the idea. It would not be polite. Hi, Hinata-chan, said Naruto. Greetings, Hinata-chan, said the girl. Hinata drew a deep breath to calm herself. Hello, Naruto-kun. She glanced at the girl. If she wasn't Naruto, then there was only one other option. She was the Kyuubi. Naruto appeared a little nervous. This is Kyuubi, he said, motioning at his companion. Hinata smiled nervously. Nice to meet you, Kyuubi-san. Kyuubi nodded, acknowledging the greeting and approaching the girl. Naruto, why don't you continue with your training? Hinata and I have some things to discuss, girl stuff. Okay, he said cautiously. Have fun. Kyuubi nodded and motioned to the girl to follow her. Hinata did as she was told and followed Kyuubi in the house. Kyuubi motioned to Hinata to sit. As soon as Hinata sat on a couch, another Kyuubi entered the room. Tea? She asked. Yes, thank you, replied Hinata. Shadow clone, explained Kyuubi, seeing that Hinata was a little confused. After they drank the tea, Kyuubi sighed. I guess you are a little uncomfortable. Hinata wanted to deny it, but shrugged. A little, she admitted. About me being the Kyuubi or me being Naruto's mate? Both, I think, said Hinata quietly. Naruto-kun explained about you. I don't hold a grudge against you or your past actions. And he already told me that I'd have to share him with you. I do not mind sharing. That is good, because I am not the only one you'll have to share him with. I did not tell Naruto about this. But a side effect of our bond is that he inherited some of my demonic instincts. One of them is the urge to mate. For now, the instinct is almost non-existent. In the future, however, this will change. His instincts will tell him to take more than one mate. It is the way of my kind. He could suppress those instincts, but he would be much happier and healthier if he did not. I understand, Kyuubi-san. I will not stand in the way of his happiness, said Hinata with determination. Good. And I'd like you to call me Kyuubi-chan, like Naruto. Hinata nodded and smiled shyly. Now that we got that out of the way, we need to talk about your training. Training, Kyuubi-chan? Kyuubi nodded. I am training Naruto. As my container, he is in great danger from both outside and inside the village. You as one of his mates are in the same danger. You must be able to protect yourself. Hinata looked down in shame. I am weak. Yes, you are. But you are still in the academy, and we will change that in no time. In any case, you are not as unskilled as you think. After all, you can't expect anything else. Your clan barely trains you. Instead of teaching you, they destroy your self-esteem and insult you. How did you know? What Naruto knows, I know. You told Naruto that your clan doesn't like you that much. But I didn't tell him anything else. Yes, but we have a lot of clones in the village. We got curious about you and we did our research. We found out some things about your clan and you in particular. Kyuubi got up and went next to Hinata, sat down and took her in her lap. It is hard to get strong when you have no reason and motivation. But that's fine. You got me and Naruto now. We'll help you. We'll help each other. Hinata felt better. For the first time since her mother died, she had someone that cared for her, even if one of them was a demon and the other the demon's container. We are trying to get a sensei. Until that happens, you and Naruto will spar together. His taijutsu skills are abysmal, but his stamina and recovery rate is excellent. With me? Yes, since Naruto is very good at creating clones, he will need to learn a style that concentrates less on strength and more on speed and accuracy. As such, I insist on your help. Some of your family style moves are much better suited than what little he learned from the academy. Of course, it is not the best choice as he lacks your bloodline limit, but it will help considerably. Naruto will learn a better style, and you'll get some practice. Is that fine with you? Of course, I'll do anything to help Naruto-kun. Half an hour later, Hinata and Naruto were preparing to fight each other. Go ahead, guys. Let's see what you got. 5 minutes later, Kyuubi interrupted the match. Stop. Naruto, this isn't a brawl. Use more of your speed. Try to dodge. I don't want to hurt her, replied Naruto. She'll heal. Better a little bruised now than dead later. In any case, you're too slow to hurt her, said Kyuubi. Hinata, use your Byakugan and the gentle fist. Both of you are holding back. You know how it is, no pain, no gain. But if I do, I'll seal his Tenketsu points, said Hinata. I don't want to hurt Naruto-kun. Kyuubi frowned at the answer. Let's try a little experiment. Hinata, seal one of Naruto's Tenketsu. Seeing that Hinata looked doubtful, Naruto smiled warmly at Hinata. Don't worry, Hinata-chan. I heal pretty fast. I'll be fine. Don't worry. Trust me. Hinata nodded and did as she was told. She activated her bloodline and her hand flashed forward. Naruto's left hand fell limp. That's interesting, said Kyuubi. Let's see. Hinata gasped as the sealed Tenketsu point glowed red for a second. Naruto lifted his arm as if it was normal. How? It takes hours to recover from a gentle fist strike. That would be true if Naruto were a normal person. But he isn't. Because I am sealed inside his body, he heals much faster. However, this is not why he recovered so fast. Since I can influence his body, I push some of my own chakra in his sealed Tenketsu. This means you can practice on Naruto without worrying about hurting him. He is the perfect practice dummy for you. Naruto didn't seem to appreciate being called a practice dummy, but kept quiet. Okay, you two. Start practicing and don't hold back. Hinata, as I said, you can't harm Naruto. And Naruto, you are too slow for Hinata. This means you can both go all out without worrying. At the moment, you are the perfect sparring partners. Hinata and Naruto nodded seriously and launched themselves at each other. A few hours later, Kyuubi interrupted Hinata and Naruto's sparring for the last time. That's enough for today. If we continue like this, you'll both progress very fast. Hinata collapsed to the ground, breathing heavily. Even though they had taken regular breaks, Hinata was unable to keep up with Naruto's stamina. Hinata also had a much smaller chakra capacity. Using the Byakugan and the gentle fist for long periods of time required a lot of chakra. Hinata, you're almost out of chakra. You did very well, said Kyuubi in an encouraging tone. If you continue to spar like this every day, your reserves will grow much faster than they normally do. The same applies to your body. Hinata nodded happily at the encouragement. For the first time, Hinata felt good about herself after a spar. At first, she felt the same way she felt when she was training under her father's disapproving eyes. He was always disappointed in her. But Naruto and Kyuubi were different. Under their eyes, she began to feel happy and free. They cared. If she made a mistake, Kyuubi would correct her with a smile. They believed in her. They were patient. They did not sneer at her weaknesses. A few days later, Naruto woke himself with Kyuubi in his arms. Morning, Kyuubi-chan, said Naruto on their mental link. Kyuubi gave Naruto a long kiss. Good morning, Naruto-kun, she replied. Don't you think it's time for us to talk to Anko? Yes, she sighed. Why the hesitation? Asked Naruto, frowning. You said she is the best choice for a sensei. Kyuubi fell silent for a long time. Some of the jounin say that the Hokage has a crystal ball. With it, he can see almost anything in the village. I have felt something watching us from time to time. I think it's the Hokage. He has watched our training. It is quite possible that he found out about me. I am concerned. Concerned about what? He is the Hokage. If he were to decide that we are a danger to the village, he might order our death. The old man? He wouldn't. You are still young and foolish. He may care about you, but his duty is to the village. Remember that all of those who become Hokage have red hands. Do not be fooled by the grandfatherly face. He is a ninja and he has killed many. Some of those were innocents sacrificed for the greater good or for profit. We must move carefully while we do not know what the Hokage thinks, and while we are vulnerable. If we did not need the resources of the village to get stronger, and you were inclined to leave, I would have tried to convince you to run away. Alas, that is not the case. I had thought he would have made a move, that he would have questioned us. Since that is not the case, he is still observing us. I do not want to move too quickly. I do not want us to seem too threatening. So what are we going to do? I hope that the third would have reacted in some way. He must know that something happened with you. He must suspect that we made some sort of contact. I wanted to wait on Anko until we spoke to him. Since he didn't, I conclude that he is not too concerned. As Anko is a jounin, she will most likely inform the Hokage if we approach her. That is why I am concerned. If she thinks we are a risk, she will inform the Hokage. It is very important for you to make a good impression on her. She is not liked by the villagers and most of the ninja, but the third seems to trust her. Her opinion will carry a lot, and if he doesn't talk to us first, she'll be the best source of information for the Hokage. It is very important for her to think well of us. Kyuubi, are you sure about this? Asked Naruto. This was a special day. As such, the true Naruto transformed in Naruto and went to her daily job at the onsen. Yes, I am quite sure. But you said we should be careful about approaching her. This isn't careful. She is going to hurt me. This isn't a good plan. Kyuubi rolled her metaphoric eyes. Don't worry, Naruto-chan. I have everything planned out. Later that day, Naruto's next client came. Anko-chan, it is good to see you. Lately you come by every day. You must be very stressed out. Anko grinned seductively. I just love your touch, she said, advancing towards Naruto. 2 steps away from Naruto, she threw her bathrobe away. Like what you see? She asked in a breathy voice. Of course, Anko-chan. You are very beautiful, Naruto replied, taking in the naked sight. Damn, you're no fun, Naruto-chan. At first you were unable to look at me without blushing, and now damn. Teasing you was the most fun I had. But now you don't even blink, she pouted. Am I losing my touch? Of course not, Anko-chan. I just got used to you. Don't worry. Now sit. Anko nodded and lied down on the table. Naruto proceeded with her job, making Anko groan. You know, this is great. You're the next best thing to Dango. You mean food is better than me? I'm disappointed, Anko-chan. Let me show you something. I'll prove I'm the best. Naruto's hands began to glow pink, and she started to gently rub Anko's back. Oh gods, moaned Anko. Minutes later, Anko was a puddle of quivering flesh. So, am I better than Dango? Asked Naruto. Yes, you are. That was incredible. I know. My girlfriend has the same opinion. Your girlfriend. Won't she be upset about this? No, she's okay with sharing. Huh. So, who is she? Do I know the lucky girl? I doubt it. She's an academy student. I don't think you ever met her. Your girlfriend is in the academy? Aren't you a little old for that? Not at all. I'm just a year older than her. I'll be in the same class with her this year. Enko turned her head towards Naruto and frowned in suspicion. You can't be that young. You are at least 16. Ah well, Naruto smiled nervously. I'm kind of disguised. Enko sat up and peered closely at Naruto. You aren't under a transformation technique. Not exactly, replied Naruto. Naruto was never good at ninjutsu. Before he met Kyuubi, he was never able to do a normal clone. That was because it required too little chakra and too much control. The same thing could have been said about the transformation technique. It was more of a genjutsu than a ninjutsu. However, Naruto was unaware of the distinction. He thought that he could actually physically transform in a different being or object. Due to Kyuubi's special abilities, Naruto was able to do the impossible for a normal human. He was able to physically transform into someone or something else. The only technique he was able to do was the replacement, since it did not require precise chakra control. Of course, that all changed after he met Kyuubi. Thanks to her, Naruto was able to read and understand the theory behind the techniques. He was also able to learn chakra control to perform the transformation and clone techniques as they were taught in the academy. Enko peered closer at Naruto. Suddenly, she touched Naruto's. They are real. This isn't an illusion. You can't be a young academy girl. Naruto smiled inwardly. I'm not. You just said you were, said Enko with narrowed eyes. I am an academy student. Gods. I hope she won't kill me, thought Naruto. That's what I said. No, you didn't, replied Naruto nervously. Enko narrowed her eyes, thinking for a long minute. I said girl? You said student. Are you saying you aren't a girl? Yes? That can't be. Enko opened Naruto's shirt and took off the bra and stared at the those are real, she declared. Naruto, are you making fun of me? She asked dangerously. No, Enko-chan. This is my female form. Female form. Does this mean you have a male form? Yes. I don't believe that. Show me, she ordered. Naruto nodded. Suddenly, instead of a girl, a boy was in front of Enko. Hi, I'm Uzumaki Naruto. Enko's eyes bulged out. She started to touch him. This can't be. You are a boy. Enko brought her hands together. Kai. Nothing happened. It isn't a genjutsu. You really are a boy. Yeah, responded the blonde blue-eyed boy. In the weeks following Naruto's meeting with Kyuubi, Naruto had grown considerably. He was no longer a little runt. Thanks to eating healthy and not starving, coupled to the new connection with Kyuubi, Naruto grew to a height normal to his age group. Wait a minute. If you are a boy, you've seen me naked. Shit, thought Naruto. She's going to kill me now. Calm down, Naruto. I told you I planned this. Trust me, said Kyuubi. Yeah. Sorry about that. Enko remained silent for a few long moments, and then she grinned wickedly. Well, so young and such a pervert. Did you enjoy staring at naked girls? Did you enjoy rubbing your hands on their hot naked bodies? That's not why I did this. Unconsciously, Naruto's eyes glanced on Enko's full. That doesn't mean you didn't enjoy it. Enko took Naruto in her arms, placing his head between her. Does it? Sorry. Wow, you're so cute when you're embarrassed. You're not mad? Asked a shocked Naruto. Nah, actually this is quite amusing, laughed Enko. I didn't have this much fun in years. Enko sat on the table with Naruto in her lap. So, why did you do all this? Wait a minute. I know about you. You don't have any relatives, but that girl from the dango shop said she's your sister. It's a long story. I have all the time in the world, Naruto-chan, she laughed. Well, most people hate me for some reason. In the academy, the teacher refused to teach me. I learned how to read on my own, but I was not that good since I had to pick up the skill on my own, without reading materials. Most stores don't sell me things, so I couldn't even buy a book. Because the teachers didn't like me, they sabotaged me and tried to teach me as little as possible. I failed the academy exam twice. I couldn't make clones, so I failed. Because my chakra reserves are very large, my control was very bad. No one ever told me what to do, and because I'm not allowed in the library, I didn't know about chakra control exercises. You say that as if now you don't have those problems anymore. Yeah, after I failed the exam, someone tried to kill me again. When I woke up, Old Man Hokage gave me a new home that is kind of isolated. I learned the shadow clone technique from a friend and got some advice. After that day, my life changed. You learned how to make shadow clones? Yeah. Since I have a lot of chakra, I can make a lot of them. It also seems that my transformation technique is a little special. I use transformed clones to enter in the libraries. That's how I found out about chakra control exercises. I used my shadow clones to train. If my clones learn something, the knowledge is transferred to me after they are dispelled. After that, I continued to use my clones to train, learn, and read books. I learned how to read, and my chakra control is very good now. I also practiced until I managed to do replacement, clones, and transformation without seals. Without seals? That's quite impressive. What about your sister? I kind of needed some money, so I made some clones and put them to work. I see. So, are you a clone? Not today. I'm the real me. That can't be. I've seen her, and you get hit. A shadow clone dies if it receives a hit. Yeah, but the clones that work are special. They are solid clones. I made a few changes to the technique. If you reinforce it by putting more chakra in a shadow clone, you can make them a lot more powerful. They can take a few hits before they die. So you mean you have your disguised clones running around the village? Anko laughed. Yeah, I got a few dozens. I need the money, and learning a civilian skill is nothing to sneeze at. As a ninja, I might need to pretend I am a civilian. I see, so who is that friend that showed you the shadow clone technique? I'm sorry, Anko-chan. I promised I'd keep the name secret. That's okay. You say that the academy teachers never teach you anything? Yeah, unless insults and punishments are meant to teach me something. I see, so why did you tell me all this? I know that the villager hate you almost as much as they hate me. You were always nice to me and we became friends, so I thought I could trust you. Wow, you're so sweet, replied Anko and smothered the boy to her chest. I like you. How about this, since you say you have all those clones to produce money, let's make a deal. You give me free massage and food and I'll train you. Really? Yeah. Thank you, Anko-chan. Can you help my girlfriend too? Who's she? Hinata Hyuga. Her family isn't nice, so we train together. I see. Well, the more the merrier. Thank you, Anko-chan. The next morning, Naruto decided to take a break for the day. Anko would not be a gentle teacher. As soon as Hinata came, Naruto took off his mask. He preferred his true eyes, but he did not want to let Anko to see them. In time, after he gained more trust in her, he would tell her more. For the moment, however, his true eyes would only be seen by Hinata and Kyuubi. Good morning, Naruto-kun. Morning, Hinata-chan. I have news. Come inside, I'll tell you all about it over breakfast. Naruto told Hinata about his meeting with Anko after eating. That is great, Hinata said excitedly. The next day, Anko came by Naruto's house for their first day of training. After some quick introductions, Anko decided to begin. So, you Naruto, what can you do? I know the 3 academy ninjutsus and the shadow clone. I can do the without seals. I suck at genjutsu and my taijutsu isn't very good. I progressed a bit thanks to Hinata-chan. My weapon throwing abilities are good. I have a lot of chakra and my chakra control is pretty good. Okay. What about you, Hinata? I only know the academy basic ninjutsu and my family style. Due to my bloodline, I can see through almost any genjutsu. My taijutsu skills are better than average. I am average with weapons. I do not have a lot of chakra, but my control is almost perfect. Anko nodded in satisfaction. Okay, you two. Why don't you two have a friendly spar? Naruto and Hinata nodded and launched themselves in the fight. Half an hour later, Anko stopped them. That's acceptable for wet behind the ears academy students. You'll have to do better. After they rested for a bit, Anko decided to test them further. Okay guys, now it is me against you two. You can use anything you want. Come seriously at me. Try to at least land a blow. Naruto and Hinata nodded and sped into the forest. Naruto made 30 clones and sent them at Anko to test her. They engaged her in taijutsu. Anko killed them all, but barely moved. Naruto sent another wave of clones. This time, they surrounded Anko and started throwing kunais at her. Anko dodged and caught a kunai in each hand. The clones fired kunais again. Anko rushed the clones, while parrying the weapons thrown at her. She passed by them, making only one slash. Soon all the clones were dead. Naruto made 60 shadow clones and 10 solid clones and attacked Anko. Hinata was right behind Naruto. They began to attack. Naruto, Hinata and the solid clones were attacking hand to hand, and the shadow clones kept their distance, occasionally throwing a kunai at Anko. Anko waved through their attacks, never being hit, but always hitting something. She made a clone of herself who rushed the shadow clones that were attacking from the distance. Naruto and Hinata tried to move faster, but it was impossible to land a hit on the special jounin. In the end, Naruto and Hinata collapsed on the ground, exhausted. Anko wasn't even breathing hard. That was fun. Hinata, your greatest strength should be your speed, but you are not fast enough. You also lack stamina and chakra capacity. We'll concentrate on that. Also, using only your formal family style isn't good enough, it has some weaknesses. My style is similar enough that you can incorporate some of it in your personal style. Yes, Anko-sensei. Naruto, you have a lot of stamina and chakra, but you don't know how to use them. You can make a lot of clones, but they are useless as you are now. Since clones are so fragile, even your solid clones, you need to concentrate on your speed and combat style. I'll teach you mine. It's fast, precise, brutal, and deadly. No flashy and flowery movements. The way you move now, you are brawling. Using my style, you'll learn how to incapacitate or kill in one movement, similar to Hinata's style. If she would have hit me even once, she would have weakened me considerably. However, if you hit me, it's nothing, just a little pain, but no damage. Also, since you have a lot of chakra and you can use shadow clones to learn new things, I'll teach you some techniques that work very good with your shadow clones. I want you to practice them until you are as proficient as you are with your clone technique. Normally, this would take years, but thanks to your special learning technique, you should be able to master them in a few weeks. Yes, Anko-sensei. The next day, Anko returned to Naruto's home. He prepared a large and healthy breakfast for Anko and himself. After they finished eating, they went outside to wait for Hinata. Good morning, Naruto-kun, Anko-sensei, Hinata said when she arrived. Good morning, Hinata-chan, Naruto greeted her with a smile. Anko nodded at the greeting. Morning, Hinata, now that we are all here, it's time for training. Today, you will continue sparring. Anko looked at Naruto. Since you can make so many clones, your clones can learn 2 new techniques while you and Hinata train. The first is Anko drew a kunai and launched it at a tree, and then she made a few hand signs. Shuriken shadow technique, she shouted. Dozens of shurikens came into existence. Some of them hit the tree and others flew past it, hitting other trees. Wow, that was impressive, said Naruto. You haven't seen anything, Anko grinned and did a hand sign. Shadow clone technique. Another Anko came into existence. She walked towards the lake and stopped in its center. A few seconds later, she exploded. I'm going to learn that, Naruto said, impressed by the explosion. Yes. How many shadow clones can you make for training? I can make 1,000. Impressive. You will make 500 shadow clones to practice the Shuriken shadow technique and 500 that will practice the exploding clone technique. Yes, Anko-sensei. The exploding clone technique is a suicide-type technique that allows you to use the chakra from your clone to form a powerful explosion. After Anko explained to Naruto how to perform the 2 new techniques, he created his clones and sent them training. After that, he and Hinata sparred for the rest of the day. From time to time, Anko stopped them and corrected their moves. By the end of the day, Naruto's clones managed to learn both techniques Anko showed to him. Let's stop for today, Anko told her 2 new students. Yes, Anko-sensei, Naruto and Hinata answered in unison. Naruto, dispel your clones and show me what you learned. Yes, Anko-sensei. Naruto gave the command to his clones to dispel. I think I got it, he said with a grin. Naruto barely felt a twinge of dizziness at the 500 clones that dumped their memories into him. Kyuubi had become quite proficient at processing the information received from his clone training. The 500 clones that were supposed to learn the exploding clone technique had already completed their training in an exploding exam. Really? Let's see it, Anko said. Naruto created 10 clones. They jumped into some trees and surrounded a tree trunk. They all launched shurikens at it, at the same time. Shuriken shadow technique, the clones shouted in unison. For each real shuriken, dozens of shadow ones came into existence. The trunk tree was hit with hundreds of shurikens. As soon as the shurikens hit, the 10 clones sped towards their target. Once they reached it, they exploded in perfect synchrony. That's pretty good, Brat, Anko said. With the techniques you now know, you should be able to defeat any number of genins and almost any single chunin. Naruto grinned at the praise. However, don't let that go to your head, Anko said sternly. A quick chunin would be able to defeat you with ease. Yes, Anko-sensei, Naruto replied soberly. Next day, Anko came again for breakfast. Naruto, your greatest weakness is your taijutsu, Anko begun. Yesterday, after seeing how fast you learned the 2 techniques I showed you, I realized how you could learn faster. Each day, your clones will learn a few katas and moves. If they practice it long enough, they will become an instinct for you. The next day, Naruto was able to sometimes block a few of Hinata's hits. Each day, Anko would show him more katas and moves for his clones to practice. She organized pairs of clones that would mock fight in slow motion against each other using only one move and its counter move. In a little over a week, Naruto learned the basics of Anko's style. Naruto slid under one of Hinata's right-hand strikes. His left hand flashed forward, barely diverting Hinata's left-hand strike from his heart to his shoulder. Both of Hinata's hands were not in reach to stop Naruto's devastating hit on a particularly sensitive spot on Hinata's torso. Hinata collapsed to her knees, breathing rapidly. As this was only training, Naruto did not use his full power in the strike. If he did, he could have injured her severely. Anko's style was extremely brutal. One good hit could cripple or even kill his opponent. Now that Naruto is no longer a punching bag for you, Hinata, Anko said with a grin, you both can truly begin to learn. Both students groaned and nodded. You both need to be as fast as you possibly can, Naruto, for your clones, and Hinata because speed is the centerpiece of your style. Isn't there a better way to increase our speed and agility than this? Hinata asked. Yeah, like training weights, Naruto said with enthusiasm. Anko nodded. True, training weights would make you much faster. However, this method has a very big weakness. Weakness? Naruto asked. Yes, Naruto. If you use training weights, your bodies will become much stronger and faster when you take them off. However, what happens when you must enter a battle and you have training weights on you? Both Hinata and Naruto shrugged in confusion. You take them off? Naruto ventured. Yes, Anko nodded. You take them off. But will the enemy not attack while you do? Even if you can release them instantly, there is another, bigger problem. What problem? When you take them off, your mind will become confused. It would be like you were having a different body. Your mind will need time to get accustomed to the new weight. Even if you have the time, you will never get top performance from it since your mind is accustomed to having a heavier body. You will win speed and strength, but you will lose something almost as important as your agility. You will lose precision. Naruto and Hinata nodded in understanding. Both my style and the gentle fist need precision and complete control over the body almost as much as they need speed. There is also the fact that you guys already train a lot. Weighting your body as well is too much for your young bodies. Because of that, training weights are out of the question. Understood? Yes, Anko-sensei, Hinata and Naruto answered. Besides that, Kyuubi cut over Naruto's disappointment. Training weights would do little for you. Why is that, Kyuubi-chan? Naruto asked. Since we first talked, I have been repairing your body and getting it to perfect condition. You don't need training weights when you have me molding your body into the perfect form for your age. I see, Naruto said with a mental grin. Thank you, Kyuubi-chan. The two young students continued to spar, with Anko giving them instructions and correcting them from time to time. A week before the academy started, the Hokage visited the scene Naruto and Hinata practiced under Anko. Hinata and Naruto stopped and turned towards the old man. Naruto, Hinata, Anko-san, good morning. Hokage-sama. The three bowed slightly to the old man and Sarutobi raised an eyebrow when he saw how polite Naruto was behaving. I'm sorry to disturb your students, Anko, but I need to talk to Naruto, Sarutobi explained. Of course, Hokage-sama. Anko motioned to Naruto to go with the old man. While they were walking towards the house, the Hokage was observing Naruto's clones which were performing the same slow motions at first, and then, doing them faster and faster. Shadow clones. And that is Anko's style, he observed. Yes, Hokage-sama. Anko-sensei was kind enough to teach it to me and Hinata, Naruto replied. And the shadow clones? Where did you learn that? That's a forbidden advanced technique. It is quite dangerous to perform due to the risk of chakra exhaustion. Yes, I know Hokage-sama, a friend taught it to me. A friend, the Hokage grunted. Once inside the house, Naruto casually made a clone silently and without any hand seals. That's a pretty impressive skill. Thanks. I've done them so many times that the technique is now second nature to me, Naruto explained. The clone returned with some tea and Naruto talked with the Hokage for a while about his training with Enko. Naruto, the Hokage said after some time, may I ask why you are so polite? A few weeks ago, you called me old man. Now I'm Hokage-sama. What changed? As you know, I raised myself. I was unaware of many things, social customs, common courtesy, and my impoliteness towards the leader of the village, amongst other things. I was taught by my friend about these things. I see I have some questions about your friend. My friend? Naruto asked. Yes, Naruto. The friend who taught you all these things. The Kyuubi, Naruto said after a long pause. Sarutobi's eyes widened at the casual fact. So you know, he sighed. She told me all about it, the night that man tried to murder me. We made a pact. A pact, the Hokage said carefully. May I ask what kind of pact? She helps me in any way she can and I allow her to have some creature comforts. I think you should talk to her personally, Naruto grinned cheerfully. Suddenly, behind Naruto's chair, another clone poofed into existence. The old man thought for a fraction of a second that it was another of Naruto's clones. Kyuubi! Yes, Hokage. I am Kyuubi, the girl with the red-slit eyes replied. The old man's body tensed for a fight. Do not worry, human. I am not here to fight. The only thing I care for now is Naruto's happiness and safety. I have no desire to take revenge on you or your village. And even if I were, I am not capable of hurting you. I am only a clone and I can only come into existence if Naruto allows it. Is that true, Naruto? Yes. I am in complete control of her ability to manifest, Naruto replied. Naruto the Hokage started to say carefully. You cannot trust her. She is a demon. The demon sat casually in the chair next to Naruto. What is that supposed to mean, human? You are a malevolent Biju. Sarutobi turned towards Naruto. They are dangerous creatures. She is responsible for the disaster that befell your... My what? Naruto silently wondered. Our village over a decade ago, the Hokage continued. She killed many of our people. How quick you are to point the finger, ninja of Konoha, Kyuubi replied. You, who murder the innocent for gold. Had your ninja not tried to bind me to their will, this would not have happened. Bind you? Indeed. That's not possible. You're lying, the Hokage said angrily. I assure you, I am speaking the truth, Kyuubi replied. That can't be. I would have known. Perhaps the fourth kept it secret. The Yondaime? Sarutobi shook his head. No. He would never have done such a thing. Perhaps, but you could be wrong. Kyuubi shrugged. Perhaps it was a rogue faction of your village. It might even be that those who attacked me were only pretending to be Konoha ninja. However, I doubt it. After their failed attempt, they retreated to Konoha. I see. Is this why you attacked the village? Kyuubi nodded. Such offense demanded retribution. So all that death and destruction was because you felt offended? The Hokage asked incredulously. Is this not the same thing you do? If an enemy village attacks you or something under your responsibility, do you not extract retribution? You should be thankful that I gave your village the kindness that put me in this situation. Kindness? The old man asked bitterly. You call your rampage kindness? Do you have any idea how many died? Foolish human, the responsibility for their deaths belongs only to the village leader, the Yondaime. Blame him, not me. What? The old man said, outraged. He died for this village, he was a hero. He was a fool, Kyuubi sneered. Kyuubi-chan? Are you sure this is wise? Naruto silently asked her. Are you not too aggressive? No. This is the perfect way to deal with him. What? The Hokage was seething. I will not have you insulting him. Tell me, human. If you have a house on the bank of a river and you know that it will flood in 3 days, what do you do? The Hokage was taken by surprise by the strange question and he calmed down, pondering the strange question. He decided to answer it. I take my possessions and family and climb to a high location. And if you know a great demon will arrive into your village in 3 days, what do you do? Tell me, human, why did you fight? I gave you plenty of time to flee, but you did not heed my warning. Your foolish villagers were still inside the village. Your ninja were protecting the walls. What were they protecting? The people or the property? They were protecting our home. Homes can be rebuilt. What did you think? That I would nest in the center of the village and you'd never get your land back? I would have destroyed some of your property, and then I would have left the same way the river recedes after a flood. Do you think I had nothing more productive to do than fight with pesky humans? We had to protect Konoha, replied Sarutobi. If you say so, I will speak of it no more. That is the past, and the past cannot be changed. We should speak of the present and the future. Yes, the Hokage nodded thoughtfully. Kyuubi narrowed her eyes. I wish to speak of Naruto-kun's abusive treatment. An abuse he received from your entire village. That's not true. Not all the villagers are like that, the Hokage protested weakly. Yes, you are correct. Not all. The owner of the ramen stand and his daughter were always kind to Naruto. Hinata is a good friend and Anko is a good sensei. You have also helped Naruto on some occasions. There are some that are, shall we say, neutral towards Naruto, but that's all. They do not harm him, but they never tried to help or protect him. This is the extremely small minority. The rest of your villagers take any chance they can to harm or belittle him. From the day I was sealed inside Naruto, I had to cure him of poisons. I had to heal the injuries produced by bullying from other children, the abuse of the adults, and the wounds of those who would injure or kill him. I had to correct the ravages of hunger and insufficient food. I will no longer tolerate such abuse. Do I make myself clear? She snarled at the silent old man. I always tried to protect Naruto, Sarutobi said. You failed. I know. I am sorry, Naruto. It's okay, old man, Naruto said with a smile. I know you always tried to protect me. Thank you, Naruto. That means a lot to me. You don't have to worry about me so much now. When I venture in the village, I go in disguise, so I'm safe and they don't overcharge me. The Hokage winced at Naruto's words. I'm also learning a lot from Anko-sensei so I can protect myself. And Kyuubi-chan makes me eat healthy food every day. I am glad for that, Sarutobi said with a smile. Before I go, may I see your seal? It is located on your belly. Naruto nodded and showed the seal to the old man. The Hokage looked deeply at it for a few seconds and nodded. The seal is unchanged. Naruto, I must ask you to not reveal you can talk to Kyuubi and her ability to manifest to anyone besides people you have the utmost trust. If you do, you would put yourself in grave danger. Do you understand? Of course, Hokage-sama. Good. Now I will take my leave, the Hokage said. I still have a lot of paperwork to sign. Good day, Naruto, Kyuubi-san. Hokage-sama. That went surprisingly well, Naruto said. Yes, Kyuubi agreed. I believe the Hokage will continue to protect you, but he will have Anko keep an eye on you. And you? Naruto asked. And me. I think I managed to convince him I meant no great harm to the village. Until now, he thought I was some kind of mindless, bloodthirsty monster bent on slaughtering his village. Anko left earlier that day, and Naruto prepared dinner for 3. While they ate, Naruto and Kyuubi told Hinata about their conversation with the Hokage. They retired in the bedroom and Naruto took Hinata in his arms and gave her a little kiss on her shoulder. On Hinata's other side was Kyuubi. Do you think the old man will tell Anko about you, Kyuubi? Yes, but we will see tomorrow, Kyuubi replied. And will they not try to harm you? Hinata asked. I do not think so, Kyuubi answered. Before now, the Hokage thought of me as an unreasonable monster. Now, he thinks there is a good chance I have no intention to harm his village if I am not provoked. He also saw the seal. He doesn't consider us too dangerous. I won't let them harm you, Hinata vowed. Kyuubi smiled and gently kissed the girl. I know, my dear. We protect each other. Kyuubi kissed the girl again and hugged her hard. You belong to me and I belong to you. I will always protect you. Hinata relaxed in the double embrace and fell asleep for a short, but blissful hour. When she woke up, she would have to leave her home and go back to her clan's home. How she wished she was free of that place, to fall asleep in their arms, to wake in their embrace. Every day. Forever. I love you, she whispered as she fell asleep. The next day, Anko came to breakfast as usual. Unlike most time, however, she was quiet and pensive. Anko-sensei? Naruto asked, is something wrong? I had an interesting talk with the Hokage yesterday, she said slowly. When I first started to train you, I informed him about it. I also told him of your academy teacher's behavior. He said that he was aware of it in some minor part, but that he could not do too much about it. He seemed to be glad I was going to train you. Anko paused for a few long moments. As I was saying, we had another long talk yesterday. He told me of his conversation with her, the Kyuubi. May I see her? Of course, Anko-sensei. Kyuubi materialized next to Naruto. Greetings, Anko-san. Kyuubi, Anko nodded at the apparition. You told the Hokage you have no intention to take revenge on the village and that you want to protect Naruto. Indeed. Can you prove that? Anko challenged. I cannot. However, that does not matter. The fact is that the seal is not broken, and I see no way to break it. It appears I am imprisoned inside Naruto for eternity. I do not see any way to break my prison and gain my freedom. Anko nodded. The Hokage said that the seal is intact. But you can still take control of him for a short time, or you can influence him. Influence him? Kyuubi inquired. To do what? For what reason? Anko just stared at Kyuubi. You think I have nothing better to do than kill pesky humans? Kyuubi replied. What would I have to gain? You are a demon, Anko said slowly, as if she was talking to a small child. I do not contest the fact that my kind can be a little aggressive when angered, or even that we indulge on acts of wanton destruction on occasion. However, we do not hold the monopoly on that. The fact is that most of my kind prefers their isolation, and we rarely venture in places where humans live. We can sleep for years, and sometimes, even for centuries. Most of the time we battle with humans is when we are provoked, or when we are sealed into humans to give them power for their numerous wars. Anko nodded. Fair enough. Just then, the door opened and Hinata stepped through it. She looked questioningly at Kyuubi as if to ask her what was going on. Anko, however, mistook the look. Hello, Hinata. This is Anko floundered, trying to find a name and explanation for the strange red slit-eyed girl sitting in Naruto's kitchen. Kyuubi, Hinata said. You knew? Anko gasped, surprised by the admission. I've known for quite a long time. And you're not scared? Hinata asked. Yes. Of course not, Hinata nonchalantly said. Why should I? Well, she is a demon. Hinata's eyes narrowed dangerously. So what? She had finally found two people she loved and who loved her back. She did not care that they were a demon and her vessel. They loved her, and that was all that mattered. The Hinata of a few weeks ago wouldn't have recognized the new Hinata. Gone was her constant stuttering. She was still shy, but she no longer cowered in front of her family. She no longer let their scoffs, sneers and ridicule bother her because Naruto and Kyuubi were there for her. She would protect them even from Anko, who could kick both her and Naruto's butts with ease. Hinata's stance subtly shifted into an offensive one. Anko saw it and raised an eyebrow. Relax, Hinata. Both the Hokage and I do not think there is any immediate threat. So you have no problem with us and me specifically? Kyuubi asked. No, from what I heard from you, what the Hokage said when you talked with him and the way you helped Naruto, you're not that bad. Anko stopped for a moment and looked into the distance. I wish I had someone like you guys after Orochimaru, she muttered under her breath, thinking Naruto, Hinata and Kyuubi did not hear her. It would have been nice to have such friends. Naruto and Kyuubi, however, heard her, courtesy to their enhanced senses. Move your butts, my precious students. Time for training, Anko suddenly said with a cheerful smile. Kyuubi-san, would you mind coming? From what I understand, you are Naruto's mysterious friend that helped him so much. I think your input will be valuable. Of course, Anko-san. The day before Naruto and Hinata's first day at the academy, after Anko left, Kyuubi decided to teach them a cool technique. So what are you going to teach us? Naruto asked the red-haired girl. Kyuubi summoned into existence a scroll and opened it. This is the Fox summoning contract. You must sign it in your blood. Naruto and Hinata bit their thumbs and signed the scroll. Kyuubi took the scroll back and it vanished. She showed them the hand signs for summoning, and they began to practice. Some time later, both Hinata and Naruto managed to summon two small baby foxes. They're so cute, Hinata gushed. Yes, why don't you dispel them for now, Kyuubi said rapidly. You can go back, Naruto said to his summon. Hinata too dismissed her summon, though with a little reluctance. I want you to practice this technique, especially you Naruto. With your reserves, you can even summon the boss if you get some practice. Also, just like any other technique, the more experienced you are, the less chakra you expend. Kyuubi-chan, won't the fox summons get upset if I summon them too much? Of course not, Naruto-kun. The more powerful and older ones might get irritated if you do, but they're a special case. The younger ones will always welcome the chance to get summoned. But aren't they sometimes busy? Hinata worriedly asked. Do they really not mind getting summoned if they were busy with something else? Of course not, Kyuubi grinned. They can do both at the same time. Eh? Hinata looked confused, but Naruto nodded. When you summon, you actually make a type of shadow clone. The closest thing to it is Naruto's solid clone. The summoner provides the chakra and the summon provides the consciousness for the summon. When it is dispelled, the summon's memory is returned to its source, the same as Naruto's clones. Younger summons especially enjoy the experiences they have in this realm. So you see, you don't have to worry about summoning them too often. One thing I want you to do is to summon them every day and put them to guard the property. That doesn't sound like fun, Hinata observed. I can see them coming here for adventures or for having fun, but I can't really see them doing something as boring as guard duty. Kyuubi nodded and smiled. That is true. However, since Naruto has so many jobs, he can afford buying them food. I assure you that such mutually beneficial relationships are highly prized by most summons. Naruto and Hinata arrived the first day of academy at the same time. They entered their classroom and headed towards the last row and took their seats in silence. They had decided to not hide their relationship completely because it would be too hard and one of them might slip. Instead, they would behave like friends and training partners. If Hinata is forbidden by her family to see me, we can find a way to get past it. But if they don't, there's no reason to hide too much. More students arrived, glancing around the classroom, greeting friends. Some stared for a few moments at Naruto in his dark mask and ANBU clothes, curious of their new classmate. However, most of the girls and one or two guys kept giving glances to a dark-haired boy. Two Chunin entered the classroom. Good morning, class. I am Yumino Irika and I will be your sensei this year. This is Tsuji Mizuki, my assistant. Now, let's take attendance. Irika started calling names. Abirame Shino. He's a bug user, Naruto thought. He's a clan heir. They are the silent type. Just like you learned to be, Kyuubi replied. Naruto always had a lot of energy. He was always doing pranks or doing something loud and outrageous to get attention. However, since he met Kyuubi, that all changed. He still had a lot of energy, but that was all used for training or for the time he spent with Hinata and Kyuubi. He also didn't need attention. After all, he had two girls that loved him. It was not the village-wide respect he used to dream for. It was the love of only two, and Naruto was happy with it. Mentally, Naruto was no longer a child. In only a short time, he acquired the experience of many years. True, the clones that were used only for training did not give him life experience, but the others did. The clones he always sent to read were helping him gain book smarts. He learned many things from books, not only practical things, but also other things about life. He learned even more from his solid clones, the ones that worked. It was nice to be normal. To not be looked at with annoyance, disgust, or hatred. From them, he learned that he had a right to exist, to be happy. And the real Naruto learned from Kyuubi and Hinata how to be happy. Using the clones matured Naruto's mental age. He was now content with not being in the center of attention. At first, his solid clones changed their behavior. Submerging themselves into other personalities, they learned patience and control. These of course transferred to the true Naruto. Naruto was no longer the exploding ball of energy. He was a relatively calm and collected young man. Akimichi Tsuji. Another clan heir. Capable of enlarging his body size. Harino Sakura. A civilian, Naruto thought in dismissal. From what I remember, she's a fangirl. Are you not too cold, Naruto? Kyuubi asked. A few months ago, you liked her. A few months ago, I was a moron, Naruto countered. And it's not like I saw her more than a few times. Hyuga Hinata. Our beloved Hinata. Capable of using her eyes to see chakra. Inuzuka Kiba. Heir of the dog clan. Stronger and faster, enhanced senses. They bond with ninja dogs. Nara Shikamaru. Heir to the Shadow User clan. Yamanaka Ino. Very pretty. Heir to the Yamanaka clan, who are strong in the mind arts. Capable of possessing ninja in battle or for interrogation. Uchiha Sasuke. Last of the Uchiha. The Uchiha have their Sharingan eyes capable of copying techniques. The teacher took a small pause and looked at the still presence of Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto raised a hand. Here. Iruka's face tightened for only a second, but Mizuki glowered at Naruto with a look full of hatred. An eye container of the Kyuubi. We should watch Mizuki. That man is dangerous, Kyuubi cautioned. What about Iruka? I think he is able to not let his emotions cloud his professional judgment. Iruka began a boring lecture and Naruto zoned out in favor of talking to Kyuubi. There are 7 clan heirs, he mentally said. Yes. It's quite a coincidence. And all of them have some sort of special ability or bloodline, Naruto sighed. I wish I had one too. Kyuubi chuckled at the statement. It is true that they have an advantage over most students, but so do you. Due to my presence, you are stronger, faster, you can regenerate, you have enhanced senses, you have huge chakra reserves, enhanced mental abilities, and of course, you have me. If all these were a bloodline, it would be considered one of the stronger ones. I know, Naruto sighed. It would be nice if I could copy techniques with only a glance, though. I have to train and train to learn a technique that an Uchiha can learn at a glance. That is true, but you forget that not all techniques can be copied by the Sharingan. And your way of learning has one huge advantage. The more you practice a technique, the more efficient you are. For learning the truly powerful techniques that require massive amounts of chakra, the Sharingan has the advantage. For the smaller, however, we are much better. Because weaker techniques require smaller amounts of chakra, you can make shadow clones for training. In only a week of training, you gain the training of several years. The advantage is that you can master the technique completely. This means no need for hand seals, no waste of chakra speed. These things are impossible for the Sharingan to copy. So the Sharingan allows them to copy all techniques, but they still need training to master them completely. Indeed, Kyuubi agreed. Since training in A or S rank techniques usually require a lot of chakra, you will not be able to learn many of them, like an Uchiha can. However, you may be able to master a few of them and become proficient at a few of them. Your advantage lies not in learning many techniques, but in using them more efficiently. At noon, Naruto's class was on the academy's training grounds. Iruka shouted to get the students' attention. We'll have a few spars to gauge your skill. First. Naruto observed as Sakura and Ino were called first and started insulting each other. Ino pig. Forehead girl. The girls ran at each other and started slapping one another. Sasuke is mine. No, he's mine. You don't deserve him. Naruto shuddered at the display of incompetence. If Anko was in charge of their training, she'd rip their arms off and use them to slap the silliness out of them. Kyuubi chuckled. Before, you were just as incompetent. I know, Naruto sighed. But at least I didn't have competent teachers willing to teach me at the academy. They did. 2 minutes later, Iruka stopped the match and called 2 more students. Well, these guys aren't much better than Sakura and Ino, Naruto said. Next, Shikamaru and Chuji, Iruka said. The 2 boys faced each other, Chuji eating chips and Shikamaru with an annoyed expression on his face. I give up, Shikamaru said. What? Why? Iruka asked, bewildered. You haven't even started. It's too troublesome, Shikamaru answered. Very well, Iruka sighed. The Nara clan was famous for their brilliance and for their laziness. Next, the teacher called Hinata and another girl. Hinata did not attack and only defended against the flimsy kicks and punches the girl tried to give her. After her training with Naruto and Anko, such hits were easy to defend against. Very good. Next, Shino and Sasuke. When Sasuke took a fighting stance, all the girls except Hinata shouted encouragements, as if they were cheerleaders. Sasuke rushed to attack Shino. I don't see what's so special about him, Naruto said to Kyuubi. Is my little Naruto-kun jealous? I can kick his ass. All those fancy moves, they're wasteful, especially against someone like Shino. Indeed. Taijutsu is not one of the Aburame clan's good points, but it appears they developed a style good at defense. Though Sasuke managed to land a few hits, they were only glancing blows. For the audience, it looked like Sasuke was winning. In reality, if the battle continued, Sasuke would tire long before Shino. That's enough, Iruka called. You did good, both of you. Only 2 students remained. Naruto and Kiba, you're next. Kiba walked cockily in front of Naruto. So, you're new in our class. I heard you failed the exam. He paired against the dobe of the class. This is going to be easy. Naruto smiled slightly under his mask. I am going to enjoy this. So, why are you wearing that mask and clothes? Kiba asked. I admit that it makes you look cool, but fancy clothes won't let you win in a fight against me. Begin, Irika shouted. Kiba rushed towards Naruto and tried to give him a right-hand punch. Naruto's right hand flashed forward, grabbed Kiba's wrist, diverting the hit and jerked backwards, unbalancing Kiba's body. The boy started to fall forwards and Naruto drove his knee in his gut and stepped backwards. Kiba fell to his knees, gasping. Irika looked impressed. Very good, Naruto, Irika said. That's all for today. Tomorrow, we'll have a weapons throwing test. Naruto nodded and headed towards a smiling Hinata, ignoring the stares and whispers of the other children. What was that about? Naruto asked Hinata a few minutes later, when they were alone. Shino, Kiba, and Sasuke are considered the strongest fighters in our class. They were surprised that he was defeated so easy, Hinata explained. I see. What about you? Aren't you among the strongest? Between the girls, Sakura and Ino have the highest scores. What? Even before we started training you were stronger than those two. Thank you, Naruto-kun. I did not like to fight, so I'm not considered that strong. Did not like to fight or do not like to fight? Naruto said with a grin. While at first Hinata hated their spars, now Hinata got used to them, and she actually begun to enjoy them, though she still hated to harm him. Hinata smiled warmly. If I can bring myself to harm you during our spars, I can certainly do the same to others. When Naruto arrived home, lunch was already prepared by a clone. Even if Naruto went to the academy, that did not mean he stopped his usual daily program. Enko was away on a mission, so Naruto continued his training, mostly finishing mastering the techniques Enko gave him. Next morning in the classroom, Hinata arrived before Naruto. She went into the back of the class and sat down in the same place she did the day before. A few minutes later, Ino entered the class. She put her school supplies on her desk and headed towards Hinata. Good morning, Hinata-san. Hinata nodded politely. Good morning, Ino-san. Ino sat next to Hinata, on the seat where Naruto sat the day before. So, you know Naruto? Hinata nodded slightly. I met him a few weeks ago. I train with him on occasion, Hinata lied smoothly, not wanting to make suspicious the blonde girl on Hinata's true relationship with Naruto. Huh, he beat Kiba with only one hit. Not even Sasuke managed to beat Kiba so fast. I heard he didn't pass the academy exam. If he didn't pass, how come he's so strong? Naruto-kun used to have horrible chakra control. That's the main reason he failed, Hinata explained carefully, not wanting to enter into details that would bring to bear more questions. The blonde girl nodded. So he has better control now. Hinata smiled slightly. Yes. He found a sensei over the holiday and practiced a few exercises that help with chakra control. That's nice. But if he had so poor chakra control, why didn't his teachers from last year do something? Ino asked with a frown. Hinata's smile dropped, and she sighed. Naruto and the teachers are not on good terms. Naruto did not ask and the teachers said nothing. Oh. So why is he wearing that mask? Does he have some horrible scars? Ino asked with relish. I don't know, Hinata shrugged, annoyed by the question. Ino blinked once and peered at Hinata with curiosity. Say, Hinata-san. I just noticed, but since we begun to talk, you haven't stuttered even once. I managed to cure it. Congratulations. Thank you, Ino-san. The door to the classroom opened and Sasuke entered. Ino saw her crush and stood up. Well, bye, Hinata-san. I have to go and say hello to Sasuke-kun. A few minutes later, Naruto entered the class and headed towards Hinata. Just before Naruto passed Kiba's seat, the boy grinned at him. Morning, Naruto, he said. Naruto stopped and turned towards Kiba. Morning, Kiba, he said with a nod, before continuing towards his seat. Hinata looked at Naruto with a questioning look. I thought Kiba would be upset about yesterday. Yeah, me too. At noon, Irika took his students outside. Like I said yesterday, we'll do target practice today. Class line up. Shino, you're first. One by one, the students fired 8 kunais at 8 targets. Only Sasuke and Naruto remained. Sasuke. Sasuke walked in front of the targets. He launched his weapons one after another, hitting the center of his targets without fail. Very good, Sasuke, Irika said approvingly. Naruto, you're next. When Naruto and Sasuke passed each other, Sasuke gave him a superior, condescending smirk. What the hell was that? Naruto grumbled silently. I believe it's time to show them a bit of what you're capable of, Kyuubi said. Naruto grinned under his mask and drew 8 kunais, launching them at his targets simultaneously. Naruto hit his targets dead center, just like Sasuke did. The training his clones performed truly gave results. Before Kyuubi, he could barely hit the targets. Now, he almost as good as Tenten. Well done, Naruto, Iruka said approvingly. You get bonus points for throwing all kunais at the same time. You're in first place between the boys. Sasuke is second and Shino is third. Ino is first among the girls. Hinata is second and Sakura is third. While most of the boys looked at Naruto approvingly, Sasuke and his fangirls looked quite disgruntled. Hinata finished her duel with her little sister Hanabi by incapacitating her hands with 2 precise strikes. Hinata was always stronger than people thought. In the past, due to her unwillingness to harm others and her lack of self-confidence, she usually lost most spars. However now, she was different. Having Naruto and Kyuubi changed her. In her spars with Naruto, she hurt him many times and he hurt her as well. She came to accept this as necessary for their progress. Now, when fighting her little sister, she no longer held back as much as she did. Before, she only defended poorly. Now, she used her lessons with Naruto and Anko. She still hated harming Hanabi, but she forced herself to do it. Even so, she always took care to injure her sister as little as she could. That's enough, Hayashi said. Hanabi, you can go and rest. Hanabi gave her father a small bow and her sister an unreadable look before leaving. Hinata. Yes, father? I am glad you managed to finally begin to show your true potential. You have also grown up from your shyness. Hayashi fell silent for a few long moments. Your academy teachers also say you progressed from your last year. Thank you, father, Hinata said politely. Before she met Naruto, she would have been overjoyed to receive her father's praise. She somehow felt a little glad, but also empty. It was a strange feeling. I understand you even made a friend Uzumaki Naruto. Yes, father. I met him before the academy started. He's been helping me with my gentle fist. He's able to recuperate from my hits very fast. Because of that, I asked him to spar with me on occasion. I see, Hayashi said. He looked at Hinata with a peculiar expression for a few seconds and gave Hinata a scroll. This is a secret technique of the main branch, 8 divination signs, 64 palms of the hand. If you manage to learn it, I will give you another one. That is all, he said in dismissal. Next morning, Hinata dressed, took her scroll and headed towards Naruto's home. As it was not a school day, Naruto would be home. Strangely, there were no clones training. Hinata entered the house and headed towards the bedroom. Naruto-kun? Kyuubi-chan? Naruto was asleep, but Kyuubi was awake. Good morning, Hinata-chan, she said. Good morning, Kyuubi-chan. Is Naruto feeling all right? Hinata asked worriedly. Usually, he's awake by now. He's fine, don't worry, Kyuubi grinned. He's just tired. I barely managed to wake him long enough to send his solid clones to work before he fell asleep again. Oh, did you train him to exhaustion again? Hinata asked. Well, he didn't train, but I certainly exhausted him, Kyuubi said with a lecherous grin. Oh, Hinata said, blushing. He won't be waking too soon. Kyuubi patted the bed invitingly. Hop in. Hinata took off her clothes and crawled next to Kyuubi in only panties and a bra. Kyuubi kissed Hinata and caressed her back with one hand. You're too dressed, she whispered when she encountered the bra. After she took it off, Kyuubi rolled over Hinata and trailed kisses to the girls. Anko entered Naruto's house and headed towards the kitchen. I'm back, brat Naruto? Anko looked around, not seeing anyone. She shrugged, thinking with relish that her student decided to laze around the day she came back from her mission. After I'm through with you, we'll see if you ever decide to skip on your training. She headed towards the bedroom, opened the door, and her previous thoughts were forgotten at the sight in front of her. She opened her mouth to say something, but stopped, shrugged, and watched with interest as the scene in front of her unfolded. Hinata finally shuddered in release, and Kyuubi raised her head from the girl's legs. Did you enjoy it? The demon asked without looking back. Hell yeah! Anko answered grinning. Now wake the brat. I'm hungry. Naruto woke up and sent 2 clones to prepare breakfast. He then kissed Kyuubi and the flushed Hinata. I see you had a good morning. Hinata smiled and rested her head on Naruto's chest. A minute later she sighed. I had another spar with Hanabi. I see. What did your father say? He was pleased by my progress. He cares more about the Bloody Clan than he cares about his daughters, she said sadly. Kyuubi's hand snaked around Hinata, and she tenderly kissed the girl's shoulder. Maybe he cares about you in his own way. As the leader of a powerful clan, he needs a powerful heir. Perhaps he is afraid that if you were to lead the clan and lacked power, you would not only be unable to protect the clan, but yourself. Maybe, Hinata sighed. He gave me a scroll with a secret clan technique, 8 divination signs, 64 palms of the hand. Sounds interesting. Using the gentle fist style, I can force chakra through my hands into an opponent's tenketsu of his body, through 126 strikes. I have to strike 2 times, then 4, 8, 16, 32 and finally 64. This damage forcibly closes his tenketsu, stopping his chakra flow. This then limits the opponent's ability to use techniques, Hinata explained. Sounds hard. Hinata nodded. I don't think I have enough speed to fully use the technique. You will. You just need more training. Naruto sighed. Let's go, breakfast is ready, he said when one of the clones he sent to prepare the food dispersed to inform him. When all 4 sat at the table, Enko raised an eyebrow at Naruto. So your girlfriend really likes sharing? Hinata turned red and ducked her head. Naruto smiled, blue eyes sparkling. He was glad he was asleep when Enko arrived. He did not want to explain his red eyes yet. It was better if Enko didn't know about that part until he could trust her fully. Yeah, are you going to tell the Hokage about this? He asked. Enko shook her head. Nah, the old pervert might die on us if I did. Enko sighed unhappily at Kyuubi. You're lucky. If only Kurenai-chan was as open as Hinata about things like this, she said with a sigh. After they finished eating, they went outside. So, why the hell are your clones not training? Enko asked. I already finished mastering what you told me, so I took a short break. I already mastered the Shuriken Shadow Clone technique. My exploding clone technique is mastered as well. And I trained in your fighting style until I could learn no more from them. To progress further in it, I need more katas, movements, or a sparring partner that's not me. I see. If we go on like this, in a few weeks your taijutsu will be as good as mine. Naruto grinned at the praise. In theory, she continued. In practice, you are not fast or strong enough. You also lack my experience. No amount of training can supplant the experience of true combat. Do you understand? At Naruto's nod, she continued. Remember that many ninja lose their life when they grow too arrogant. You might be strong for a kid your age, but a jounin or a chunin who knew your weakness would have little problem with you. Remember that you can barely hit me when we're fighting. Got it, brat? Yes, Enko-sensei, Naruto nodded soberly. Good, Enko said. Now make 500 clones, she told Naruto. Enko too made a shadow clone. You guys are with me, the clone said to the 500 clones. We're going to continue with taijutsu. A few moments later, after the crowd departed, Enko continued. Naruto, I'm going to teach you another ninjutsu, the body flicker technique, AD rank technique. The body flicker technique is a basic ninjutsu technique. It enables you to appear and disappear in an instant, allowing you to retreat or attack suddenly. You can use nearby elements like leaves to mask your appearance or disappearance. Now, can you tell me how this technique can be adapted to your fighting style? Yeah, Naruto said dreamily. The most obvious is that if my clones use this technique, they can body flicker to quickly get near an enemy and explode or do other things. Good, Enko nodded and demonstrated the technique and explained how to perform it. Now make 500 more clones and put them to work. After the new clones departed, Enko frowned in thought. And you too? Enko-sensei, Hinata interrupted the special jounin. My father gave me a scroll on a family technique, 8 divination signs, 64 palms of the hand. Really? That's a pretty powerful technique. Enko grinned bloodthirstily at Naruto. Well, that settles it. Naruto, make 4 clones. 4 clones appeared and looked at Enko fearfully. Enko smiled innocently at Naruto. You'll be Hinata's practice dummy, since this technique needs a live target if Hinata wants to learn it fast. Okay, Naruto said dully. The 4 clones shifted uncomfortably, wondering what Enko had in store for them. What about us? One of them managed to ask. You guys will be my personal servants for today, and Kyuubi's, Enko said, glancing at the demon. Yes. The clones shouted in unison and dashed towards the house. This technique is pretty hard, Enko said. Because of that, you'll stay as a defenseless target at least until Hinata begins to learn its rudiments. Got it? She asked Naruto. Defenseless target, got it, Naruto sighed. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun, Hinata said and looked down. Naruto raised her chin and gave her a quick kiss. There's nothing to be sorry. If you do, then you'll have to reward me after we finish training, okay? He said quietly. Yes, Naruto-kun, she said, smiling brightly. If you are through with the touchy moment, get to work, Anko ordered. Yes, Anko-sensei. Hinata entered a fighting stance and Naruto prepared himself. 8 divination signs, 64 palms of the hand. Hinata rushed towards Naruto. 2. Only 2, Anko said, watching the failed technique. This will take a while. 15 minutes later, the 4 clones that dashed in the house returned with 2 comfy armchairs, a table, and 2 bowls of food. Anko gave Kyuubi a questioning glance, but the red-haired girl shrugged. Both sat in the armchairs and sighed in pleasure as 2 clones started to rub their shoulders. Another 2 were feeding the 2 girls slices of fruits. Naruto was once again the victim of Hinata's technique. He glared balefully at the clones who were relishing their task. It certainly beat getting pummeled by Hinata. The clones smiled cheekily and continued in their task. By the end of the day, Hinata managed to complete the first level of the technique and was working on the second. You need more speed, Anko proclaimed. What do I have to do? Hinata asked. Train more, Anko said, shrugging. Naruto's class was again taken outside for another test. Naruto was thankful that it was not another written test. Those were the most boring, especially now since all the questions were too easy. Class, be quiet and line up, shouted Irika. The children stilled themselves, wondering about what new test they had to pass. Irika nodded in satisfaction as his students looked at him with questioning looks on their faces. Today we'll have an obstacle track. Your mission is to find Mizuki, who is in a position approximately 2 kilometers in that direction, Irika pointed at the dense forest. Keep in mind that there are many traps between here and your objective. Irika fell silent for a long moment. Go, he said. Some of the students rushed immediately into the forest, on a straight path to their destination. Among them were Naruto, Sasuke, Kiba, Shino, and Hinata. Others took a slightly different direction, hoping that their roundabout path would have fewer traps. Only Shikamaru remained. Irika frowned at his laziest student. Shikamaru, I said go. Yes, sensei, the lazy boy sighed and walked slowly into the tree line. This is so troublesome, he mumbled. As soon as Naruto entered the forest, he made a hand sign to create 10 clones and sent them ahead. Hinata, her Byakugan active, rushed to Naruto and fell in behind him. Thanks to Hinata's eyes and Naruto's clones, they were the first to find Mizuki. The professor raised an eyebrow as one clone found him into a clearing and dispelled itself. Soon after that, Naruto and Hinata arrived. Hinata was breathing heavily, but Naruto was unperturbed with the effort. Sensei, Naruto nodded politely, are we the first to find you? Mizuki stared at the boy for a few seconds, and then nodded. Yes, Uzumaki, you are the first, he said neutrally, writing something on a notebook. Naruto nodded, headed to a tree stump and sat down on it. Hinata sat next to him, still breathing heavily. A minute later, Sasuke landed in the clearing, a superior smirk on his face. He clenched his teeth and glowered when he saw Naruto and Hinata sitting on the tree stump. He looked like he was about to say something to them, but Kiba and Akamaru ran into the clearing. Sasuke calmed down and rested his back on a tree, feigning unconcern. Shino was next. A few more students arrived. Irika appeared into the clearing and headed toward Mizuki. Surprisingly, Shikamaru arrived behind Ino and Sakura. The 2 girls headed towards Sasuke and congratulated him on his victory. Sasuke's face darkened and he tuned them out. A few minutes later, all of the students arrived. Irika looked at his students. You did very well. Now, for the rankings, Naruto and Hinata were the first to arrive. The fangirls were stunned. The second to arrive was Sasuke and the third was Kiba. Irika made a small pause before continuing, but he was stopped by a shout of outrage. Why are Naruto and Hinata first? Why isn't Sasuke first? Sakura glowered at the pair who watched the proceedings. Hinata wore the bland, superior Hyuga face. A few months ago, Hinata would have stammered an apology under the pink-haired girl's stare. Thanks to Naruto, the girl couldn't care less of her opinion. Naruto and Kyuubi were her universe and she would not let herself be intimidated by someone who scorned Naruto's abilities for which he trained till exhaustion. Naruto, on the other hand, just rolled his eyes under his mask. I can't believe I used to like her, he thought to himself. Does she think Sasuke is some sort of god? Yeah, said another fangirl. Sasuke is the best. They must have cheated. Sensei, I saw Naruto create some sort of clones, another girl piped out. I think they were solid. Sakura's eyes hardened and she pointed an accusing finger at Hinata. Yeah, and Hinata used her eyes to see the traps. And unlike Sasuke, who completed his mission by himself, they teamed up. It's not fair. They cheated. Virtually all girls nodded in condemnation of Naruto. The boys, however, were sick and tired of fangirls. Naruto was happy Kyuubi managed to get rid of his temper, mostly that is. He still had problems, but something like this only amused him now. Iruka-sensei never said that we are forbidden from working together, he said calmly. He also said nothing about forbidding the use of ninjutsu or bloodline limits. The girls began to grumble. Quiet! Iruka shouted. Naruto looked in interest at the man. Had this happened a year before, Naruto had no doubt his former teachers would have agreed with Sakura. While Naruto could feel the hidden loathing coming from Mizuki, both he and Iruka had a cool, yet professional attitude towards Naruto. Naruto had no idea why they were fair with him. He had the suspicion that the Hokage had something to do with it. Naruto could only hope they would continue. I am very disappointed in you girls, Iruka finally said. What Naruto said was very true. In fact, we, Leaf Mean, pride ourselves on our teamwork. It is in fact the cornerstone on which our village is built. As Naruto said, I said nothing about not using your clan techniques, if you have any. If you graduate and become shinobi and kunoichi, you will have to trust your teammates with your life and you must use any advantage to complete your mission, be they bloodline limits, clan techniques, or even simple tricks. That is all. Class dismissed. At Iruka's words, the students began to leave until only Sasuke, Naruto, Hinata, Sakura, Ino, and the two teachers were left. Sasuke walked towards Naruto from the spot he was resting on. Fight me. Huh? Naruto asked. Fight me, Sasuke repeated. Naruto didn't know much about the boy in front of him. One thing was clear though, Sasuke was not the most stable person around. He seemed concerned only with having strength. It probably had something to do with revenge for his defunct clan. Beside these, Sasuke was also as arrogant as the entire Hyuga clan put together. Naruto stared at the boy, wondering about the best way to get rid of the self-centered brat. He could not stomach losing a fight with the boy, but if he won, Sasuke probably would keep coming until Naruto lost. No, Naruto answered. He could at least postpone the confrontation. Fight me. I said no. Sasuke narrowed his eyes and launched himself at Naruto. Naruto prepared himself to block the attack, but before the two boys met, Hinata struck Sasuke twice, disabling his arms. The boy was so shocked by the sudden attack that he didn't even try to dodge the following gentle fist strikes from Hinata and he fell down, unable to move. The Uchiha looked at Hinata with an incredulous expression, unable to comprehend that the shy Hyuga girl incapacitated him. Sasuke-kun, Sakura and Ino shouted in concern, rushing to his side. Suddenly, Iruka was there to check Sasuke. The man's lips twitched slightly as he did so. Sasuke glanced between Iruka, Hinata and Naruto with an incredulous expression on his face. Don't worry, Sasuke, Iruka said. You will recover in a few hours. You know, you didn't have to attack Naruto now to test your skills against his. The next time we have taijutsu spars, I was planning to have you two fight. I guess I should take you to the hospital to check you even if you will recover by yourself. Better safe than sorry. Iruka grabbed Sasuke and they disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Mizuki too walked away. Sakura gave Naruto and Hinata a dirty look before rushing in the direction of the hospital. Only Ino, Naruto and Hinata remained in the clearing. You hurt Sasuke-kun, Ino said softly. Both Naruto and Hinata cocked their heads as if to ask, so what? The blonde girl made a strange hand seal. You'll pay for hurting Sasuke-kun. Mind-body change technique. Naruto smirked under his mask as Ino's mind tried to suppress his own. Unfortunately for Ino, she could not defeat the alert and prepared mind of both Naruto and Kyuubi, and Ino was ejected back into her body. Naruto watched the collapsed Ino. Had you done a surprise attack, without alerting me, you might have succeeded. Your technique only works on weak, untrained and unprepared minds, Naruto said before grabbing Hinata and disappearing in a swirl of leaves. Ino narrowed her eyes at the swirl of leaves left by Naruto's departure. We'll see about that, she whispered. While in previous years Naruto understood nothing from the teacher's lessons, now he found them too easy. Unlike most children, Naruto was always alone until he met Kyuubi. He had no one except the Hokage, the ramen stand owner, and his daughter to answer his questions. However, when he saw the latter two, he was too preoccupied with ramen to ask them anything. The only one who answered some of his questions was the Hokage. Unfortunately, he rarely talked more than once a month with the old man. He managed to find answers to a few of his questions, but that was too little. Naruto, like any other child, needed many things explained. If at least the children his age talked to him, his mind would have grown, but all of the children were told to keep away from him. If Naruto would have been allowed to have regular contact with other people, he would have learned a few things, but he was shunned, so he learned almost nothing. Since Naruto had no source of education, his mind was stunted. Concepts normal for a child his age were completely alien to him. At school, his teachers ignored him. Years passed, and Naruto got used to not knowing things. He could barely read, and he only understood things if they were slowly explained using very simple words. While he was 13, his mind was no older than the mind of a 7-year-old. Thankfully, when he met Kyuubi, his deficiencies were remedied. The first books he was told to read were books for small children. Suddenly, new ideas and concepts were revealed. Naruto continued reading. When he found a word he did not understand, he checked the dictionary. After his basic reading skills were remedied, he continued reading. He even read the dictionary. Thanks to the enhanced mental abilities he received from Kyuubi and her ability to properly sort the huge amount of information, he rarely needed to read something more than once. His mind grew by leaps and bounds. Another thing that helped in his mental development was the clones who worked. These social skills helped him immensely. Naruto was now the proud owner of a reasonably intelligent mind who knew more theory than some educated chunin. While Iruka's theoretical lessons were mostly covered by Naruto's clones who studied academy and genin manuals, he still got some use from the lessons. The most helpful lessons were the practical ones. Naruto had almost no skills before meeting Kyuubi. The only thing Naruto was proficient was in traps, stealth and evasion, and he only put them to use when he was doing pranks. While Kyuubi and Anko's training managed to rectify many of his deficiencies, he still had many gaps in his practical knowledge. Thanks to Iruka's fairness and Naruto's newly discovered intelligence, he was learning the things he never got to learn. One of the things Naruto was taught by both Anko and Kyuubi is that shinobi must not draw attention to themselves, nor should they let their enemies know of their true skills. That, of course, did not mean that he should hide all of his skills. It merely meant that he should pretend to be less skilled in some areas. While things like his taijutsu and ninjutsu techniques would be found out sooner or later, that did not mean he should let slip his skill to perform some of his ninjutsu without hand seals. Having such an advantage might save him in the future, or at least give him an advantage. Another thing he decided to hide was his theoretical knowledge and his ability to learn and process large amounts of data. It would be foolish to let such an ability known. As such, he decided to answer wrong to some of the questions to his written tests. After all, these tests were a matter of public record. While Naruto had no problem with Anko and the Hokage knowing about his abilities, letting others know about them would be dangerous. Another reason for hiding his skills was that the Uchiha was not the sanest person around. Kyuubi did not want Naruto to steal the boy's Rookie of the Year title. If he did, the Uchiha would become even more of an annoyance with his "I'm an Uchiha, therefore I am superior" attitude. Hinata and Naruto appeared in a swirl of leaves in front of his house. They ignored the many clones that trained and entered the house to prepare lunch for 4. Half an hour later, Anko arrived ignoring both Naruto and Hinata and begun wolfing down the food. Naruto summoned Kyuubi and they all begun to eat. Even if Kyuubi could draw no nourishment from the food, she still enjoyed it. Since Naruto read so many cookbooks and had a few clones working at various restaurants across Konoha, he was a reasonable cook and his fridge and kitchen was always full. Naruto always had clones around the house, so even if Naruto was somewhere else, Anko could always tell one of his clones to prepare some food. The fact was that Anko took full advantage of Naruto's offer of feeding her in exchange for training, so she usually ate at Naruto's or at one of the locals where one of Naruto's clones worked. While most of the girls Naruto's age ate small quantities of food, Naruto, Hinata and Anko ate for 10 people due to their intense training program. Also, Naruto had to feed the constant stream of fox summonings. Fortunately, with all of Naruto's jobs, he had enough money. After they finished eating, Naruto told Anko about his day at the academy. "So why didn't you dodge Yamanaka's attack?" Anko asked. "Those are pretty slow. There's no way you could have not been able to dodge." "I wanted to experience it then, when Hinata was with me and Ino was alone, rather than later when I might have been alone and outnumbered," Naruto shrugged. Anko nodded at the answer thoughtfully. "Fair enough, but what if you didn't manage to overpower her mind?" Naruto shrugged. "In a way, you did the right thing," Anko sighed. "I don't think you were in any true danger and it was better to test it while you had Hinata with you. But if you'd been in true combat, then that would have been one of the stupidest things to do. Naruto winced and Anko was silent for a long moment. While your growth rate is impressive, you're still acting stupid. I think it's time to have this talk. It's time for you to see how our world works, Anko grumbled. You need to know that this world is dangerous and a small mistake can cost not only your life, but the life of your comrades. This is something my former sensei told me. He's a sociopath and a monster, but he's the greatest genius to come from Konoha, so as loath as I do admit it, I should tell you what he told me. Naruto and Hinata were surprised. Anko almost never talked about her former sensei Orochimaru. Naruto heard some things from gossip, but it was hard to separate the truth from the lies. All he knew for sure was that Anko was Orochimaru's student, that he gave her some kind of seal and that with the exception of a select few she was viewed as a traitor and a danger to Konoha. This will be a long lecture, so get comfortable, Anko said. There are 5 great shinobi nations. Each of them are usually led by an S-ranked Kage. These nations are fire, wind, earth, lightning and water. There are other villages, smaller and weaker. Most of them have no S-ranked nin, or if they do, they have at most 1 or 2. Konoha, for instance, has at present 3 S-ranked nin, the Hokage, Jiraiya and Tsunade. We also have 2 S-ranked missing nin, Orochimaru and Itachi. Each one of these S-ranked nin is a true powerhouse. As long as they are unopposed by another S-ranked nin, they can lay waste to an entire village. As an example, we have Itachi who slaughtered his clan. There are 5 ranks of ninja, academy level, genin, chunin, jounin and kage level. Each rank is on a whole different level than the next. For example, usually, a kage should be able to defeat a certain number of jounin, let us say 10. A jounin is on a different level than a chunin and a chunin is on a different level than a genin. This usually means that lower ranks going against a higher rank is suicide. However, things are not always so cut and dried. The lower rank can have some sort of advantage, like surprise or a team that works well. Anko paused for a moment and stared at Naruto. Or they can have a bloodline, or a special technique like the Yamanaka has. Even a genin can kill a jounin in cases like this, especially if the higher ranked is overconfident in his abilities. Konoha nin killed many enemies like this. Overall leaf ninja are weaker and not as well trained as ninja from other villages. However, we have one great advantage. Konoha loves its bloodlines and clans and we pursued a policy of attracting and keeping them. In water those who carry bloodlines were slaughtered. Wind and earth have few bloodlines. Only lightning has the same love of bloodlines, though they go about it in a different manner. Unlike Konoha who try to be as attractive to bloodline carriers, lightning is openly unscrupulous about their way of acquiring them. Anko looked at Hinata. You should know, she told the Hyuga girl. They tried to kidnap you for the Byakugan. Since bloodline carriers are treated like some sort of slaves in lightning, those who carry them try to stay almost as far from lightning as from water. This leaves Konoha with the highest amount of bloodline carriers. This gives Konoha nin a great advantage. For example, any Hyuga is very strong in taijutsu and they are excellent scouts. Inuzuka are great trackers and their bond with their nin dogs give them enhanced senses, speed, strength, stamina and their clan techniques are very strong. The Aburame are also good scouts and trackers and their allies are very powerful. All members of these clans, even genins, are as good at scouting and tracking as any jounin. All of those who belong into a clan have at least one skill in which they are very good. When an enemy nin fights with a Konoha nin of the same rank, the Konoha nin, if he is part of a clan, can use those techniques. Ninja from other villages think Konoha nin are weak. Unfortunately, that is half true. Konoha is the strongest village, and it has grown complacent. From what you told me, most of your female classmates are brainless fangirls. The academy standard would make the other villages laugh. In a way, it's understandable. Most academy students benefit from training from their own clans. Getting back to topic, one of the greatest enemy for a ninja is overconfidence. You never know when you will come face to face with someone who has a certain advantage like a bloodline. Sooner or later you will come face to someone like that. You can even be a kage and your opponent a genin. If you are not careful and your opponent has a bloodline that melts your brain when he touches you or when he looks funnily at you, then you will die. There is also the fact that while your opponent may have a lower rank than you, or appear weaker, looks can be deceiving. If we take you Naruto as an example, you can give most chunins a run for their money, and you're not even a genin. Also there are many things that matter in a fight. The ranks of genin, chunin or jounin are only approximations of strength. There are many different skills that a ninja can have. Any one of them can decide your fate in battles. While some are more important than others, none are useless. For example, your opponent is more powerful than you, but if you are good at stealth and traps, you can kill him without coming face to face. Another example, your opponent is stronger. If you are good at infiltration and assassination, you can poison him or put a knife in his back without having to fight him. Another way, if you are good at torture and interrogation, you capture someone who knows about your opponent, a subordinate, teammate, or something. You find out your opponent's weakness and use it against him. You can have the strongest ninjutsu, taijutsu, genjutsu skills, strength, speed, and stamina, but if you are stupid and careless, you'll find yourself poisoned or stabbed in the back by some pretty lady. If you have a weakness, it will be exploited. If you have an advantage, sooner or later someone will find a way around it. You are proficient at ninjutsu? They will engage you in taijutsu. You are good at taijutsu? They will use genjutsu. You are strong? They will be faster. You are fast? They will have more stamina. You have more chakra? They will evade until you are exhausted. You do not know how to fight a sword user? They'll come at you with swords. You are nice and like to help people? They will use that to trick you. You are inexperienced? They will find it easier to find a strategy to defeat you. Your enemies will try assassination, poison, lies, and trickery. They'll use traps and throw weapons at you. We are ninja. There is no such thing as fairness. Your enemies will always use unfair tactics against you. If you are careless, you die. Do you understand? Naruto nodded soberly. Overconfidence gets you killed. Stupidity gets you killed. Weaknesses in any area can lead to death. It is good to have an advantage in a certain area, but there is always a way to work around it. Anko nodded. In time, all ninja learn that there is more to being a ninja than flashy techniques, and we all learn from our mistakes. One more thing that you must keep in mind is that even the strongest Kage or a Biju can be defeated by a Jounin through the use of suicide techniques. The most important ninja skills a ninja can have are hand seals, ninjutsu, taijutsu, genjutsu, intelligence, force, speed, stamina, and chakra, Anko said. If I were to rank you, let's see. For hand seals, Naruto is high genin and Hinata is low genin. Ninjutsu, Naruto is high genin and Hinata is low genin. Taijutsu, Naruto is mid genin and Hinata is high genin. Genjutsu, Naruto is academy level and Hinata is low genin. Intelligence, Naruto is chunin level and Hinata is high genin. Force, Naruto is high genin and Hinata is academy level. Speed, both of you are at genin level. Stamina and chakra, Naruto is high jounin approaching low kage and Hinata is high academy level. While all these are very important, there are other skills. Some are more important and other less. However, any skill can give you an advantage in battle. Some of these skills are chakra control, elemental manipulation, med skills, kinjutsu, ranged weapons, assassination, torture and interrogation, scouting, tracking, stealth, traps, infiltration, survival skills, knowledge, sealing, fuinjutsu, experience, reputation. Both Naruto and Hinata raised an eyebrow at the last skill, but said nothing. For Hinata, your chakra control is at chunin level, med skills are at high genin, ranged weapons at genin level, scouting at jounin level, tracking at chunin level, stealth, traps and knowledge at genin level, sealing low genin, experience at low genin. For Naruto, your chakra control and med skills are at genin level, ranged weapons at chunin level, scouting and tracking at jounin level, stealth at high chunin, traps at high genin, infiltration, survival skills and knowledge at chunin, sealing at low genin, experience at genin level thanks to me, and unfortunately you do have a reputation. Reputation is a double-edged knife. If you have no reputation, your opponents don't know your weaknesses or your strong points. If you do have a reputation, your opponents are more likely to know information about you. While this is usually a bad thing, you can turn it into an advantage. For example, everybody thinks I am insane and bloodthirsty, she grinned. That means that even elite jounin would avoid a fight with me. The yanden was said to be so strong that at his appearance at the site of a battle, his enemies would flee. Sometimes reputation can save you of a lot of trouble. Unfortunately, with reputation come other problems. There will always be people who will try to kill you as a way to prove their strength or gain fame. Naruto and Hinata nodded solemnly. Anko fell silent for a moment, and then she continued. There is a reason I am training you two the way I am. To continue our lesson, the same way a jounin is a whole level above a chunin, an A-rank technique is a whole level above a B-rank technique. Usually the chakra expended for an A-rank technique is about 10 times higher than the chakra expended for a B-rank technique. Again, note that I said usually. Techniques are ranked based on a few criteria. First, it is based on chakra consumption. There are other criteria: chakra control, learning difficulty, destructive force, the number of people who are familiar with the technique, the number of people that can learn the technique. Some techniques result in the death or harm to the one who performed the technique, so their rank gets much higher. It is because of this that Naruto's clones can practice E-rank techniques the whole day. As it is now, your clones can master an E-rank technique in a few days. A D-rank technique will be mastered in a matter of weeks, a C-rank technique will be mastered in months, and it will take years to master a B-rank technique. The exception seems to be the shadow clone, summoning techniques and techniques derived from them. You appear to master them faster than I thought. It is probably because of Kyuubi, I think. Again, this is an approximation. You can master them faster if your chakra control and capacity grows and improves. It will also help if you have an elemental affinity. For example, if you have a fire affinity, you will be able to learn fire techniques faster. Another factor is experience, knowledge, and intelligence. Anyway, that's about all for today. Now scram to training. Anko finished. The Naruto clones who worked as hunters arrived home after a hard day's work. One of the ways they helped, beside the steady income, was that every day the clones would bring back some of the game they hunted. As the foxes that acted as sentries and guards over Naruto's home usually ate things like meat in its raw form or cooked, there was a constant need for fresh meat. Since buying large quantities of meat from the village was a bit expensive, even if the one who was doing the buying did not look like Naruto, the hunters brought home fresh meat from their hunts. Fortunately, the summoned foxes were not very large, so they didn't eat too much. As a matter of fact, summoned foxes were small compared to other summons. While the 3 legendary summons of Konoha, the slugs, snakes, and toads were very powerful and were primarily used for battle, the foxes were used more for scouting, guarding, tracking, and transport. The foxes could still be used for battle, but any of the 3 legendary bosses would dwarf the fox boss not only in size, but also in strength and power. A fox greeted the hunters and one of the clones stopped, took out a scroll and gave it to one of his partners and started petting the small fox. The rest of the clones entered the house, went into the kitchen, put their scrolls on a table and dispelled themselves. In the middle of the night, a figure entered the workroom of the Yamanaka clan head. The figure approached and sat on the chair behind the desk. After a few minutes of careful searching, the figure found a scroll. She bit her finger, wiped it on the scroll and opened it. Inside was an advanced form of the mind-body change technique which was only taught to Jounin level Nin. The less advanced one was taught to clan members after they entered the academy and was much safer to use. Using the advanced form was dangerous for an untrained mind. Ino Yamanaka smiled and started to read it. Naruto's academy teachers took the class outside on the training ground. Today, we'll have another taijutsu spar, Irika announced. The Chunin called the students by pairs and had them spar against each other. Naruto ignored most of them, but watched the clan heirs' matches. The Nara boy gave up on his match. Chuji fought against one of the civilian kids and won quickly. While the boy was not very fast, he was quite strong. Kiba and Shino got paired together. Since the Aburame's weakness and the Inuzuka's strength was taijutsu, Kiba won the match. When it was time for Naruto and Sasuke's match, the dark-haired sneered at Naruto and rushed forward after Irika gave the signal to begin. The boy was using the Uchiha clan fighting style. It required speed and agility, and Sasuke had them quite developed compared to a normal academy student. Fortunately, it was not higher than Hinata's. 3 months earlier, Sasuke would have mopped the floor with Naruto, but many things changed since that time. First, thanks to Kyuubi, similarly to an Inuzuka, his senses, speed, strength, and reaction time were much better. Second, he ate plenty of healthy food and exercised his body. And third, he now knew a good taijutsu style, and thanks to his clones, he had plenty of practice with it. Sasuke, while very strong, was not on the same level with his brother, Itachi, who became an ANBU captain at the age of 13. He also lacked the Sharingan. Without it, Sasuke was a normal, if skilled student. His fighting style was designed to take advantage of the Sharingan, and the boy didn't have it. Sasuke attacked Naruto furiously, but Naruto managed to dodge and slap all his punches and kicks aside. Since Naruto was used to sparring with Hinata, who was as fast as Sasuke and was proficient in the gentle fist, Naruto didn't find it too difficult to not get hit. Sasuke was getting frustrated by his lack of success, and with a growl, he launched a wild spinning kick at Naruto. Naruto dodged under the kick, grinning inwardly as Sasuke lost his cool and provided him with the perfect opening. Just as Sasuke realized his mistake, Naruto dashed forward and met Sasuke's spinning torso with a blow to the ribs, followed by one to the head. Fortunately for the young Uchiha, he managed to dodge the second hit and jumped back, grimacing at the pain. Nothing was broken, but Sasuke thought that he might need a few days until he fully recovered. How? Sasuke demanded, and the girls began to mutter among themselves. Seeing that Sasuke was holding his chest in obvious pain, Irika stopped the match and told Mizuki to take Sasuke to the infirmary. With a final glare, Sasuke left with the Chunin and Irika called the name of 2 girls. Naruto ignored the rest of the matches until Hinata's turn came. She was paired with Sakura. The pink-haired girl glared at Naruto, who beat the boy she loved, and Hinata, who also incapacitated Sasuke on a different occasion. When Irika gave the signal to begin, Sakura threw herself at Hinata as if she was trying to murder her. Unfortunately for the girl who was trying to get revenge on behalf of her crush, Hinata was probably the second strongest student after Naruto, and the strongest girl in class. Ino was second and Sakura was third, but they, like the rest of the girls, didn't take their shinobi career too seriously. Barely trained and ate far too little for a growing kunoichi. The result was a paralyzed Sakura. After Hinata left to the Hyuga compound for training with her father and sister, Naruto headed into the forest, still congratulating himself for defeating the Uchiha. So caught up was he into his victory that he failed to sense his attacker hidden behind a tree. Naruto collapsed to the ground when the Jounin-level technique hit him. Ino saw herself stabbed after she failed her Genin exam. She woke up in a sewer and saw the giant body of the Kyuubi no Yoko. As her body began talking with the giant fox, she realized what happened. These were Naruto's memories and she was reliving them. He was the container for the Kyuubi no Yoko. Ino watched in fascination as Naruto and Kyuubi talked. She felt her guilt, the boy's guilt, her fear that she really was a monster. Surprisingly, it was the Kyuubi that shook her from the depressing thoughts. She made a pact with the demon. She woke up, found herself in a hospital, and she talked with the old man, the Hokage. Part of her felt betrayed he didn't take better care of her. Another part still cared for the only person who showed her any affection. With the help of Kyuubi, she managed to convince the old man to give her a better house. There, the Kyuubi taught her how to make shadow clones. She told her how to buy things without getting robbed and receiving low-quality goods. She began to learn, at first, how to read, then how to control her chakra. She made solid clones who learned and worked. She trained. She saw her hands glowing with pink light as they caressed Hinata's back. She gave Kyuubi the same massage and they made love. She was so happy when she was held in her embrace, the first embrace she ever had, when she kissed the red-haired demon, washing away years of loneliness. Even if she was not human, she loved her. And then, Hinata. She was someone who was like her, hated and despised by her own clan. She felt and saw their first time together, her flushed body under her own. How she called her name between moans. How she vowed to protect Hinata, the second person she truly loved. She relived the time spent together with the two people that quickly became the center of her universe. She convinced Enko, who was hated by the village for being Orochimaru's apprentice, to train them. She felt close to the special Jounin due to their common backgrounds. She was happy that she now had another person she cared for and returned her feelings. Then, Ino Yamanaka opened her eyes into complete darkness. The girl heard a sound behind her, and she turned around to see Kyuubi in her human form. "Kyuubi," she whispered. The first impulse she had was to run at her and kiss her. She fought it and quashed the alien feelings. "I am not Naruto," she thought. "I am Ino. I don't love Kyuubi. I don't love Hinata. I love Sasuke." "Ino," Kyuubi purred. Ino brought her hands together to dispel the technique. "I'm going to tell the Hokage," she said. "He already knows," Kyuubi said quickly. Ino narrowed her eyes. "You're lying." "No, I'm not." "Look," Kyuubi said. Ino blinked as she saw and felt the memory of the meeting between Kyuubi and the Hokage. "It doesn't matter," Ino shook her head and narrowed her eyes. "Does he know about Hinata?" "Enko knows." "So he doesn't," Ino said with narrowed eyes. "I do not know if she told him," Kyuubi shrugged. "I don't see what's wrong about it." "Well, for starters, they're minors." Kyuubi raised a delicate eyebrow and chuckled softly. "From my point of view, all humans are minors compared to me. 13, 23 or 103 years, that's still eons younger than I am. To demons, physical age means little." "You're still corrupting them," Ino snarled. "You're taking advantage of them." Kyuubi cocked her head in question. "What do you mean?" "I'm not stupid," Ino sneered. "You think I don't realize what you're trying to accomplish? You're trying to turn them away from the village, making them love you more than Konoha. I've seen enough of Naruto's memories to realize you're slowly trying to convince him and Hinata to stop caring about the village. You're trying to make them care more about you than Konoha by taking advantage of their loneliness." At the accusation, Kyuubi simply nodded. "You admit it?" Ino said incredulously. "Of course. Why shouldn't I?" "Why shouldn't you? You're trying to make them betray the village." "No, I'm not." "You just admitted it," Ino said hotly. "You can't deny it now." I am teaching them that loyalty and love is earned. As long as the village treats them fairly, they will not betray them, Kyuubi said with an amused quirk of her lips. Whatever, Ino said. I don't understand why Naruto trusts you, a demon. Anyway, I'm leaving, and after this I'll go straight to the Hokage. Did you not come here for a reason, Yamanaka? What you've seen so far is only the tip. Look deeper. Ino blinked, and she saw a woman feeding her strange-tasting milk. More such scenes replayed in front of her eyes. She felt sick when she drank the strange milk. She really wanted the better milk, but she was hungry. Sometimes the strange-tasting milk was the only thing she was given. That was poison, Kyuubi said after Ino got out of the memory. I had to not only neutralize the poison, but heal the ravages of hunger. A normal child would have been long dead. He was not even given enough food for a normal child. Demon vessels need more food than normal humans, but Ino flashed through many memories where she did not have enough food. And food was not the only thing Naruto lacked, Kyuubi said. More memories came. She got thrown out of the orphanage, but old man Hokage gave her a small apartment and a monthly allowance. Unfortunately, most shopkeepers wouldn't even allow her to enter their stores. Some of them enjoyed selling Naruto bad or rotten food, faulty equipment, growled Kyuubi. On top of that, they charged him with premium prices. No, Ino shook her head. They can't be all like that. I remember going to some of those stores, they were so nice with me, but… Kyuubi nodded grudgingly. Not all villagers were like this. The truth is that Naruto was mostly protected from direct violence by the Hokage. He wanted Naruto to have a normal life. Unfortunately, others had different plans. Children were told to stay away from Naruto. She wanted to play with other children, but they never wanted to play with her. Some of the children enjoyed bullying her, and the only thing adults ever did was to tell them to stay away from her. Ino got out of the memories and thought back on something that happened years before. Some boys made fun of Sakura's forehead, and Naruto cheered her up. When Naruto and Sakura parted ways, they looked like they would be good friends. But the next time she saw them, Sakura was very cool towards the boy. Ino thought at that time that they got into a fight. When she asked her parents about it, they told her to stay away from Naruto. Yes, Kyuubi said, following Ino's thoughts. That hurt Naruto a lot. He thought he made a friend. She blinked away tears when Sakura told her they could not be friends. Why? Mumbled Ino. That's not fair. Kyuubi shook her head. I can't really blame the villagers too much for this particular thing. After all, they could not truly know if Naruto was dangerous or not. As long as they had even a suspicion, they were entitled to tell their children to not interact with Naruto. A shinobi is dangerous, and a child shinobi even more so. A child with a demon imprisoned could be deadly. Besides this, Naruto is not liked by the village. They would not want that dislike to splash on their children if they associated with the village pariah. Their first priority is their children, not Naruto. In their eyes, Naruto is just a stranger for them, and they have no duty towards him. Ino nodded and Kyuubi continued. Most adults simply ignored him, pretending he didn't exist, and only a minority actually tried to harm him. From those who tried to truly harm him, one way or another, they are split in 3 categories. Ino saw cold stare after cold stare, sneers and disgust. She was thrown out of stores, yelled, ignored and punished by his teachers, given medical help grudgingly or sometimes outright ignored by the healers. Kyuubi stopped the flood of memories. First, there are those who stay within or stretch the boundaries of the laws. Here, we have the shopkeepers who refuse to sell things to him or sell him low-quality goods at high prices. Then, there are the healers who gave him medical help only grudgingly or not at all. Then we have the academy teachers who did their best to sabotage Naruto's education. Even those who care nothing, good or ill, for Naruto have trouble with him. After all, he is my prison and they cannot forget that. Even if they know, intellectually, that Naruto is not the Kyuubi, they can never get over the fact that behind those pretty eyes, the one who almost flattened their home is shackled. Ino found herself kicked by drunks in a dark alley. She ducked a punch from an enraged store owner. Then, the Kyuubi continued, there are the villagers that lose their tempers or get drunk and step over the line. Usually, things don't go too far and Shinobi or Anbu come to save him. As Naruto grew up, he learned to avoid these painful meetings. Kyuubi fell silent for a moment before continuing. And then, there are the professional and amateur assassination attempts and those who employ them. Ino shivered in shock through the 4 professional assassination attempts, from her last one to her first one, before she was kicked out of the orphanage. The first 2 times, the demon said, Naruto didn't even realize someone tried to kill him, and he quickly forgot about them. After all, they didn't even leave a scar and they healed overnight. There might have been more attempts on his life, but if there were, the Hokage took care of them. Kyuubi shook her head at the stunned girl. Why so shocked? After all, this is a shinobi village. It is their job to kill. Anyone can hire someone to kill anyone as long as the pay is good. Some don't even need to pay. Some are clan leaders or are part of the village council who have jounin at their beck and call. No, Ino protested, the Hokage. Can do only so much, Kyuubi interrupted. Yes, he is the leader of the village. Theoretically, he is the absolute ruler of the village. But you can't be so naive to think that anything he wants will happen. Look at Naruto. The third made a law not only to protect Naruto, but also to allow him to have a happy childhood. Did that happen? No, Ino whispered. That is because in Konoha, the Hokage needs the support of the shinobi and civilian population for the village to run smoothly. In other villages, the Kage could have enforced his edicts better, since there, the Kage is truly the absolute leader of the village. But even there, he would have had to not step too much on his subordinates' toes. After all, there are many small ways in which they can make his life harder. This happened in Konoha. The third gave a law, and the villagers chose to respect the letter of the law, but not the spirit. Most of the villagers, however, Kyuubi continued, simply don't care about Naruto. They are cooler towards him because of me or because others hate him, and they don't want to be known as demon lovers and have that hate spread on them. There are only a few people who showed any amount of care towards Naruto. That's me, Hinata and Anko. Ino blinked as a multitude of memories replayed in her mind. Then there's the Hokage, a ramen stand owner, and his daughter. By this time, Ino was looking confused. I have to leave. Two more things before you leave, Yamanaka Ino. Remember that you are not allowed to tell about me to those who do not know it, not even to Sasuke Uchiha. It is a S-class secret. Also an advice, you saw Naruto's mind, perhaps you should see the Uchiha's memories as well. You should see the mind of the one you think you love. Goodbye, Ino. Kyuubi grinned after Ino disappeared. She was just as surprised as Naruto by the attack and she failed to properly defend Naruto's mind. By the time she realized what was happening, the Mind Walker had already viewed too much of Naruto's memories. Since she doubted Naruto would be pleased if she killed the Mind Walker, Kyuubi was quite upset. Fortunately, she realized that while the Mind Walker found some information she'd rather not be known, it was nothing that would endanger Naruto too much. The only potential problem was her intimate relation with Naruto and Hinata. Still, while it might put Hinata in an uncomfortable position, it was nothing that would endanger them. Even more fortunate was the identity of the Mind Walker. It was Yamanaka Ino. The problem with entering another's mind is that the Mind Walker's mind must be stronger and better trained than the mind of their victims, or patients. There is a reason for that. When a Mind Walker enters a mind, he doesn't view memories like a movie. He lives them senses and emotions, everything. If the Mind Walker's mind is not strong enough, he risks immersing too much in the memories, sympathizing too much with the mind he walks in. One could become so entrenched in them that he would acquire things from the mind they are probing. If unprepared and untrained, one might even become a serial murderer who enjoys slicing people to pieces. Or they could become in love with the love interest of the ones they are probing. Those who are experienced enough can realize when a mind is too strong for them and retreat before their personality is changed too much. They can also shield themselves to a certain extent, based on their skill and the skill of the one they are probing. But Ino Yamanaka was not experienced enough to realize that Kyuubi laid a trap for her when she continued to show her memories of Naruto. Besides those, using the connection Ino established, she enforced and pushed Naruto's feelings deep into Ino's mind. Unfortunately, such an occurrence might be the first and last one. It was unlikely that another untrained Mind Walker would wander into Naruto's mind. Kyuubi grinned to herself. Soon you will be ours, little Mind Walker. With that, Ino entered back into her own body, which was collapsed behind a tree. Naruto stood up, and with a quick glance towards her, he disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Hinata, hi, as she stated when Hinata entered the main family dojo. Hinata walked next to her sister, Hanabi. Father, she replied in a quiet, soft voice, but without any hint of nervousness. The Hyuga clan head was surprised by the change his older daughter went through. Only 2 months earlier, Hinata would have stammered and looked down in a similar situation. Hinata was always a quiet, shy girl, just like her mother. His older daughter suffered even more than him from her death. He knew that she needed something to replace the emotional support her mother offered, but he couldn't be that. He was the clan head first and foremost. If the girl couldn't get over her weakness on her own, then she wasn't fit to replace him as the next clan head. It was better to test her now, while she was still young and her mistakes would harm only her, than to let her assume his duties and fail the clan. Before she began training with the Jinchuriki child, she barely kept pace with Hanabi in their spars. Even if Hinata was 4 years older, she usually lost their fights. It was not that she was so much weaker than her younger sister. He was the Hyuga head and his eyes could see that the girl did not lack the capacity to fight, but the will. She was simply unwilling to harm others, especially her younger sister. She was too much like her mother. But after she began to train with Uzumaki Naruto, she changed. Instead of stammering, she talked in a quiet, soft, but at the same time, firm voice. While before she kept her head bowed, with her eyes to the ground and her shoulders hunched, she now held her back and head straight. It still wasn't the Hyuga noble posture, but it was far better than the